Hello, welcome to Reaper Errant. I can't keep that tree up. Um, my name's Frank. We're going to play a Dungeons and
That's what she
Dragons
said.
5th edition. I was waiting. It took a while. There's
This
obviously
is Christmas in June at Frank's house.
a delay in audio, if that took
Putting
like
up his
that one,
tree.
Michael.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we are going to play D&D 5e, and yeah, it's been 2 weeks. I would not say they narrowly avoided any kind of danger last week at all. They met a kindly blue dragon, and then some kindly guardians for a place in the form of stone golems, and not nary a hair was scratched on their heads, so it must have been very easy for them.
That must
Yeah,
change.
you don't want to get your nary hair scratched because you know you're in a problem there.
You gotta keep those cut short.
I'm going to do some thank yous before I begin, though, and the true beginning is when we let everybody introduce themselves. But I will begin by saying my name's Frank. I want to say thank you to Reaper Miniatures for having this wonderful D&D stream. Thank you to Justin for being our technical director. Thank you to Sirenscape for some of the background and ambient music you will hear this evening. And of course, thank you to all the players, and I'll let them introduce themselves and who they're playing, starting with Bobby.
All right. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. My name is Bobby Jackson. I'm playing Pugh, the mighty and indomitable gnome bard, formerly armed with my trusty war shawm, but currently armed with a more pleasing harp and my positive mental attitude.
Yes.
And a closet detestation of all things elf.
I don't think it's in the closet.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's in the
Not
closet
in
at
the
all.
closet.
Oh no, I've
Yeah.
cunningly concealed it.
No.
No. Okay. I think that was a low roll on the concealing check for
Yeah,
that.
then you rolled a 1.
Gene.
Quiet elf.
Hi guys, Gene Van Horn, and I'm playing Gooseneck, the lizard folk barbarian, and I got my Stonebreaker axe instead of my war club, and I think this week we're ready to kick some butt, hopefully, instead of sneaking around behind dragons and getting nothing, not getting knocked out or almost killed. So I'm ready. Roll for initiative.
I see. We'll see how this goes. Jason.
I'm Jason Weeby. I'm playing Corncob Thunderbludgeon. Also trying to be known as Aquadorf, but he hasn't managed to promulgate that yet. I do have a pair of magic otter pants and some swimming rings, which have come in completely handy in every adventure that we've had so far. So let's get on with it.
Michael.
Hello, I'm Michael. I am the more mighty and totally abdominable wood elf ranger with a negative mental attitude.
Excellent.
And an outwardly totally open disdain for little punk ass gnomes that hide behind trees.
Mental
Wow.
is, that's probably an exaggeration.
He is just a hairy tape ball of glee, isn't he?
I know.
Yes,
It's Rhonda.
Hello, I'm Rhonda Bender. I play Fathom, a tiefling who has traded favors for magic and is hoping to turn in one of those favors now before this party completely turns on itself to disintegrate.
Oof. I don't know how much longer you've got. Timer's ticking.
There's no pre-game setups. What are you trying to do? Just steal a march here? You can't cast a spell in the intro session.
But I didn't cast a spell. I said I want to turn in our favor to the Mushroom
okay.
Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get it.
Spells. I only have one left for the day unless we rest.
Wow.
Of the good stuff, I mean.
Jen.
I'm Jen. I play Kay Nimblewit, a human rogue who for some reason is still following these people around.
better than being a door.
That's right.
Have you
You're
tried
welcome.
being a door?
That's
Well,
true.
that is an assumption. I'm assuming
She's
it's
got
better
you
than
there,
being a door.
Bard.
Yeah, that
Got
theory
you there, Bard.
can only
Well,
kind of float for
Being
so
a door
long.
might be better than being a bard.
I don't know. That harp tends to tilt the balance a little bit, I think.
Hey, well, you won't hear me whining about the harp,
Ah.
just the class.
And in the last game, I'll just the one backup rewind. Someone found a flask, and they also got paid by the dragon. So, you know,
We
it
did
was
good.
Yeah, it was good.
Wasn't that Fathom in both instances?
No,
No.
You got the dragon's digits. He likes you the best.
Yeah.
He gave you the
Well,
stone and the little sack of copper. I mean, platinum.
He gave you
Oh, he gave me the money too.
Yep.
but we did.
And I'm just holding the flask. If someone else wants that flask, I can negotiate.
Okay,
We should figure out what's in the flask, right? Or not?
It makes water.
Yes.
I think we have an endless supply of fresh water now.
Oh, that's
That's
fantastic.
not a
Well,
big
clearly we need
trick.
to
My
give that to Corncob so he
My
can test his
granddaughter
ring
makes
out.
water. That's not a big stunt.
Yeah.
So, you.
I said
Yeah.
fresh
Bob-
water. Fresh.
Give Bobby
Don't
about
think
an hour,
I said.
and his bladder will be ready again.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god.
Fill that tub.
What?
Grandpa gravy.
Yeah, Grandpa gravy. I don't. Who's holding on to the party's wealth? I don't. Stop it, Van Horn. I don't have much use for the money, and I'm assuming the stone is more of a liability than a bonus. Seeing as
Well,
how
then you can hang on to the stone. I have room to
Yeah.
carry the money if you want me to carry the money.
I already gave you a gun.
Well, tough. I can
dragon
use the
like
gun
you
to get the money if that's what
We
you're
don't
saying.
need it. A questionable cleric in furry pants is not the appropriate person.
Well,
to
then
be
carry
carrying
the money
party's
yourself.
treasure.
You were looking to offload it because you're terrified of your own shadow.
I'll carry the money.
Yes, thank you.
We had
You're the
spent all our
thief.
money prior to
Carry.
this, so no one else is carrying all the money.
Okay, let's make Kay carry the money.
It's not who carries it, it's who counts it.
I
So
think that's
do we need
also
to
me.
take do we need to
I
take a
know.
rest?
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
I think for at least a couple weeks.
And my question is, my direct question is, you're gonna move farther away from this location, kind of keep traveling back towards town, where,
Or
or
Dagger said we're supposed to turn the thing in near here. So
Yeah, let's keep
we
shopping
want
for
to
the.
find where that is, because resting right in this creepy town seems like maybe a bad plan.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
at least check the dagger and see if we can figure out where we're supposed to
Yeah.
go.
Let's check the dagger.
I think it says right under that tree that won't stay up.
yeah,
You know, unless the tree's an integral part to the storyline, it seems like you're hassling with it a lot.
you know, the thing is, you never know what's going to be integral
That's
to
true.
the storyline.
That's true.
No.
Now is
Could be our next adversary or our next, the person that answers our next question about how big the dragon is.
So you want to head the way of the dragon, the dagger, but not necessarily hang around that little bit of a town. Makes good sense. All right.
Well, we didn't have much of a chance to look around the town.
Well, that's true.
Does it look pretty well scraped over?
Yeah, it is very much like the locals had described it. It's been home to lots of, I don't know, people with graffiti that's come in, adventurers. You can tell it's been picked over. It was just that the dragon kind of knew where to go and had dug up under to find that door and uncover it. That made anything there. If there is anything else there, you'd kind of, to find it, you'd have to kind of pick a random place and start digging and hope you were right.
Well, we didn't get any other detect magic signs anywhere.
No, you
as Fathom was firing those spells off.
Yep.
Well, that one I can do another one if you want. That one's not hard to do.
You hadn't found.
I think we should follow the dagger. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I agree.
Wholeheartedly.
Because if you're worried about carrying stuff, I think maybe that thing we're carrying now is the worst thing of all to carry around. But the
Well,
Egg of Asmodeus or whatever it is, I can't remember what it's called.
I
Egg
ran
of
another
Asmodeus.
date.
What?
Maybe we can get you another date with the Mushroom Queen.
Sure. Sounds good. Hook me up.
All right.
I don't have any
Don't
goose
get
grease for
pregnant.
you. It's only whale
Yeah.
oil.
Same thing.
That's what we need is a preg.
Would you say a
What?
pregnant elf?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
travel along.
Hook it up with the
Poor Frank.
Mushroom Queen and
No, I just sit
our
here
elf knocked up.
and try to make the tree stay on the table. The rest is up to you.
Well, let's go follow the dagger.
Yeah.
Whip it out, Fathom.
Let us follow it.
It does swivel around and head back, as though you had sort of passed it along the road. However, the one thing you have noticed is that, or you do feel along this, is that in this you are meeting somebody to drop it off. And so this person is clearly, or this entity, either hasn't been here or has been on the move at many times. So they seem, the positioning as you check it after you've done the work for the dragon and resolve that and start heading out. It looks like it's changed a little bit. It looks more like you could head towards the main town and you should be able to find it. It's on the way. But they don't have that much of a head start.
From what I remember of the map, does the positioning as it moves, does it seem to move from civilized place to civilized place, or is it often out in the wilds?
It often points initially to the wilds and then ends up in a civilized place.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
Well, if we're walking towards town, we get Corncob closer to water so he can use his pants and stuff, right? So.
Yeah.
There's no reason to drum up an adventure where there isn't one.
Just trying to make you feel better about your magic item.
No, I'm actually feeling quite happy with it. I can't wait till we're on the ship again and it sinks, because I'll be all set.
Plus, you look so good in those pants.
I know. I'm not, like I said, I need a trident is what I need.
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
Aqua
Or a
dwarf.
scuba mask.
So,
Nope, don't need a scuba mask anymore.
oh yeah,
One of those
a
cool
trident.
Jacques Cousteau monolens scuba masks would look cool.
Oh yeah, one of those. You know who hates those? Ron Hawkins hates those.
Yeah. That's another story.
Yeah.
If
He of questionable
nothing.
taste.
if you are traveling down this road, do you continue through the night, or do you stop, get a little camp and a little rest if you're not going to make it?
Let's
to
stop
wherever it's
and
going?
rest. My vote is stop and rest.
We're
I vote
away
the
from the
same.
creepy guys in gibbets and stuff, though, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll take first watch.
Let's
You are
not rest beside those guys.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I'm not worried about some dead guy hanging in a tree.
You're far enough away. All right. So
Plus, I
I'll
think
take
they
first watch as
disintegrate if they get within 30 feet of me. I think that's my new spell.
you get a
Poof.
fire and a meal. I'm assuming. I could inappropriately assuming that you're cooking along the way, but pretend like you are.
Absolutely.
And we'll get you out here. I'm gonna mess this scene up, so Justin will have to find. the
El Lagarto
solution.
and I are compiling recipes for our new cookbook, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
It-
that's
it-
right.
Is anybody injured?
No.
No.
Nobody's
We were
injured?
very.
No, we didn't get a
Nary a
point
hair.
last time. We didn't even stub our toe last time.
No, it was as mentioned, nary a hair, right?
It was a bloodless coup.
Bloodless coup.
Well, that's partly thanks to Kay's keen eyes.
Are we camping by the airport?
Yep.
Sounds a bit like it.
That's just a dragon coming in again.
Yeah. Oh, he would have called to warn us.
Okay, well, all right. I'll listen to you then on the dragon thing.
So, what are you going to do for watches? I know you're all in health, but some of you need rest.
I would
watch.
prefer third watch.
First
I'll
watch.
do the metal because I
First watch.
need to sleep.
Okay. All right.
I think I'm the only one that has to rest for spells now, right? Or no?
Well, I'm like an elf.
I do.
I have to sit still, but I don't have to sleep.
I do. I have
Oh,
to
that's
rest
right.
for now.
Yeah. There
I'm not
are-
like an elf that Bobby should hate me, though.
No.
No. Okay. So there is a background noise that is loud. That popped in.
It's not
Okay.
me. I will play soothing gnomish lullabies on my harp.
There, now it went away.
Good. Okay.
Hmm.
Soothing gnomish lullabies on your harp. So I'm going to leave your minis standing as we go through the. But remember, for you're not on watch when this happens, whatever might happen, then you're laying down, probably not in armor because that would be uncomfortable to sleep in. So third watch, you hear voices. Sounds like they might be getting closer. Small.
What kind of voices?
Sounds like speaking common. They seem relatively normal, possibly like an average-sized humanoid voice.
I'll pick up a couple pebbles and start tossing them at people to wake them up
Okay.
as quietly as I can. Well, a fire's still going, isn't it? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's up to you if you've not snuffed it out or not, or kept it up.
I'll try to gently nudge people then. If our fire's still going, we're not going to hide.
Okay. So it is
I hear a dog
a
howling.
good bit of time before, probably a good 2 hours before the sun is truly up. There might be a little bit of light if you fake yourself out a little bit on it on the horizon. So it's really early. A little unusual for people to be on the road at this hour, but
I hear common voices at dawn, or voices speaking common. It's not dawn yet. Sorry for waking you guys up.
That does seem odd.
This never seems to bode well for us.
Thank you, oh Aqua Dwarf. Where do
You're welcome.
which way are the voices coming from? The direction that we're headed, or the direction we came from?
the direction you came from.
And do they sound anxious, conversational?
Make an insight check.
Was there anything? Did the road continue on past the creepy old ruins, or was that the only place you'd be going if you were on the road?
On that road, that's probably the only place you'd be going. Even that road was kind of broken down, but
So that-
apparently people still traveled there a little bit. But beyond it, you could have maybe found an old road, a very old road that was overgrown, not really something you could travel on.
So it
Pugh
seems a
rolled a
little-
14 on his insight.
Okay, 14. And so to be coming down this road, you wouldn't necessarily have to have been coming from the ruined area, but you would have to have been coming from a mountainous region beyond it, where down from a snowy area. Not quite the same area you all came from. I don't know. So on that insight, it seems conversational, Pugil.
I'm going to put my armor back on.
As am I.
All right.
Let's gear up.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll do my
Alright.
mage arm. So.
For those in light armor, this is going to take a minute. Medium type armor, 5 minutes to put your armor on. And if you're wearing full plate or something like that, it's 10 minutes as you're kind of getting up. So light, you'll be definitely fully dressed and ready as these two approach. And you see two robed figures coming down the road. And they are, it seems, oblivious to you. And they are definitely...
Human size?
Yes, human size. They look like humans, as near as you can tell, but they are covered up fairly deeply.
I'm just going to double check the dagger and make sure they're not the...
Oh, okay. So you pull it out, discreetly pull it out? Or...
I'll kind of go behind that tree if I need to a little bit.
How close are they?
At this point, they're probably about 60 feet away. As far as you have seen, they haven't really even noticed you yet.
Careful, don't knock the tree over, Fathom.
But we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything to hide, are we?
No. The fire's going. I didn't figure we needed to hide.
Then I want to cozy up to the fire and get comfortable and pull out my harp and begin to play soothing gnome lullabies.
Okay.
I'll keep sitting on the ground, but I'm going to put one of those pistols under one of my legs.
Okay. Kay and Abran? And Gooseneck, what are you doing?
I have my bow out. I'm cleaning it, getting it ready for the day.
Okay.
It's strung though.
I'm
Knocked with an arrow. Maybe
Testing it out.
Poison.
On
A
fire.
little bit of hate in my eye. Yeah, exactly. But otherwise, I'm calm. Yes. Sorry, Kay.
I'm going to be stealthy behind a tree or something. So just in case this goes bad, I can get a surprise attack in or something.
Well, it's dark. Don't you get to be invisible or something even in your cloak?
I think I'm just extra sneaky.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and make that stealth
Wear the
check.
fat one.
Got a 24.
Okay. All right. 24. That is definitely stealthy. All right. Gooseneck, what about yourself?
I'm going to casually lean up against that rock outcrop tree stump sitting right there, and I'm going to be sharpening my axe.
Okay. Okay. No problem. So I would like Abran and Gooseneck to roll intimidation checks.
That would be a 16.
13.
16 and 13. Okay. So the music probably is what first draws their attention. And they sort of stop short, hold up and say, "Ho! Excuse us. Hello. We're traveling. Is it safe to approach?"
Sure. Come on in and be warm.
Yes, of course it's safe. Come enjoy the fire and the music.
What
Toast
do we
some
look
hot
like,
dogs
murder
if you got 'em.
hobos?
Disregard our hostile elf
They
and
they
threatening
eyeball
lizard.
He's
the
always
lizard
like
folk, barbarous-looking figure with a giant axe that's sharpening it, and the angry, trigger-happy elf. They don't see
Is the
Kay
dagger
at all.
point at them?
I'll show him a little otter pant-clad calf. Just twist it a little bit.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's quite an interesting group they have come upon. Fathom, what did you say? Or
I was wondering if the dagger did point at them.
it did not. It continued down the road. Okay, so they approach. They're a little bit leery, a little bit concerned, but that's okay. Fine, fine. They'll survive. And they said, we had an early start on the road. We didn't mean to wake you. I hope we did not disturb your rest.
Well, as you know, out here, any sound can be suspicious. Where are you traveling?
Well, we're heading to town. There is a um, wonderful sermon going to be happening this
Sermon?
the end of this week. Yes, yes, yes. We're
What kind
excited
of
to
sermon?
learn from a
Like a
traveler.
revival?
Well, there's Melithus. Have you heard of Melithus? Of the
I haven't. You must enlighten me.
Well, Melithus is a wonderful. One of them seems a little bit anxious. The other one seems very quiet, very kind of looking around, not saying much, but also far less nervous than their more talkative and younger companion that's doing the answering. So he goes back and he says, "You, if you haven't heard, well, it's an Aparian apostle, maybe. Well, no, that's not quite the right word. But their sermons on the religion are wonderful, and we've just been tasked to go and listen to what they have to say. It's really it's an opportunity for members of our temple in this area to go and see. So
Can I make a religion roll and see if I know anything about Mellifluous? I mean, he doesn't sound good. Anything with Mall in the front seems like it might be bad.
go ahead. Yeah.
I got a 16 with my negative.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've probably heard the name before, but it's doubtful that you heard it in any like glorified context as a great orator of any kind. So
Well, did I hear about it in any sort of evil context or
No.
bad news type thing?
Nope. Nope. Seems very kind of, if anything, a little bit dull. Like there shouldn't be a lot of excitement necessarily around it unless there's some new bit of thinking that's come out of it, perhaps.
Have you traveled far? Where's your temple?
Oh, in the mountains. We are we seek a bit of solitude there for our temple, and we've just come from the mountains. It's also nice to get away from some of the cold in the winter before it starts, and it does mean we'll have to be in the city all throughout the winter, most likely. We'll winter here after this, and then we'll go back.
Do I feel like these are fellow clerics, or do I feel like these are monks, or do I feel like these are some kind of pilgrims?
You feel like these are probably they are clerics, but not in an adventure professional sense. They're more like scribes, cloistered scholars in a way, but religious text probably. Monks of old, not martial.
Around before the sun comes up.
Non-martial monks, I guess you would say.
That's the worst kind.
It's unusual that you'd be traveling in the darkness like this. Why wouldn't you be waiting for the sun to come up? Is it a preaching spot?
Well, it's a bit of a challenge, to be honest. We wondered if we could make it without sleep. It was a test, I guess. If we could travel the way through it's only 1 night and 2 days of journey, if we could make it in such time.
You guys have walked right through
Yes, we have.
for 2 days and 1 night?
Yes, this is, well, we're embarking on the second half of the day before we get there, but yes.
Are they sitting down yet?
No, they're standing still.
Huh. Well, why don't you
we're
sit
just
down and warm
we're
up
about
a
to
little
make
bit?
breakfast.
It's got to be cold.
Yeah, we're about to make breakfast. You can toast a hot dog.
Yeah.
So the one that hasn't been talking seems, make an insight check.
That's a good one. I like insight checks.
Insight is good for some, right?
17.
17, okay.
Natural 20 plus 4.
Ooh.
He knows everything about him.
No kidding. Wow, that's good.
Pays to just sit there and watch him while I sharpen my axe.
Are they wearing their sandpaper shirts inside out and all that stuff?
No. So the truth is, what in the heck? Now I've got
What's going on?
sound problems.
I think Justin's trying to inflate his hot tub again.
No, that one's on me. I don't know if it's a mosquito trap or like the big strip behind this area that anyway.
Sounds like a really big mosquito. Well, you might have more problems than just us playing D&D.
I do live in the Houston area
Sturges.
of Texas. They are sturge-like mosquitoes down here. I live right next door to a swamp. So no.
Mosquito.
It is what happens is on that insight check. The older you recognize this person now as a little bit older, and they look a little sternly down at this anxious person who's talking. And for the first time, I think it's the first time other than the greeting you've heard them speak. And he simply says, well, if we rest, we may not have the willpower to continue after we've had such comfort. So perhaps we could join you for a meal, but we insist on standing.
Okay. All right. There is just 2 of them, right?
Yeah, there is just 2 of them.
This isn't one of those triple halflings in a robe thing.
Triple halflings in a robe. No, not that you know of, no.
Okay, good. Huh. Okay, well, if you insist on standing to eat.
Yes, if you
We
don't
should
mind.
do as our guests do and stand with them.
Yeah, I think we should. We'll all stand and eat.
Okay. So the younger one seems to be it's a little uncomfortable, but the more stern one doesn't seem to care very much. But they both begin to eat whatever you offer, and they actually pull out a little flask and says, the young one says, we brew. Perhaps you'd like, we could share as well our drink with you.
What do you brew it from?
Grain. Just grains.
Oh, well, that's good. None of them hallucinogenic apples or mushrooms or anything.
Oh no, that would be far too strong and inappropriate a drink.
I'm getting a good picture here. Yeah. That revival sounded more exciting by the minute.
Throughout all this, Kay, you have remained sort of hidden out of it. I don't know if you want to observe through all of it. It doesn't look like they're going to be there beyond breakfast, but it's up to you. I would like to ask if you want to come out.
Yeah, once they come into the fire and start talking about breakfast, I will emerge.
Okay. They seem surprised when you come up. But they take it in pretty good stride. See, so
Did everything come out okay, Kay?
Uh,
Nice cover.
Yeah. See?
Mhm.
Always thinking.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you're-
going to politely decline their offer of a drink. I'll just say, well, things brewed with grain give me the wind, and I got a ways to go before we rest
We don't
again.
want him filling up those otter pants. Believe
No,
us.
no, I'd like to keep them nice.
okay. Yeah, they don't they're fairly comfortable accepting that. Kay, your passive is high enough that on one of the moments when some food is passed by, the younger one, um, as he extends and some of the clothing comes off, you do see like a tattoo, like a branding style tattoo, I guess, body branding on the inside of their arm, their forearm. And could you make a religion check? Or actually be okay to make a history or intelligence check as well.
I think it's pretty much all going to be the same for me.
Bam.
I got a 20.
Okay. Okay. So, this looks like a. You have read about an offshoot. You might have heard it in context of. There are a couple trades that have applied themselves to this. There are some very, very fanatical monks. There are also a large guild of assassins that also are part of this offshoot of belief. It is definitely not any deity belief, and they call their group the Fall.
F-A-L-L?
F-A-L-L, the Fall.
Hmm.
And
We don't know any of that yet.
no, K is
He's the
picked
only
up on
one.
it. But they are absolutely extremists and fanatical. This does not look necessarily immediately like the assassin side of that. Not that they don't talk to each other from time to time, but it does look like that could be the more monastic side of it.
So if they're extremists, what is kind of their context for that? What are they extreme about?
Okay. That I need a disadvantaged history check for this one.
Disadvantaged what check?
History.
We could be termed extremists.
That's a 5.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
So, it's pretty secretive. You don't have a good grasp on what it is. You're not sure, I guess, therefore, if it's good or bad, just that you've heard of them many times being referred to as extremists in their beliefs.
Okay.
Okay. So they continue to eat their food, stand, pass a little bit of their like ale around, essentially. And then, depending on how conversation, are there any questions or anything you want to ask while this, or are you going to let them wrap up and kind of make the first move to leave?
How long have they been?
We don't know
how
any
long-
of this yet, right?
No.
How long have they been in
No,
this in this order?
So I took my oath 5 years ago. and so I'm relatively new here, but my companion here has been almost his entire life since he was a young adult. He goes,
Wow.
yes, that's right. I have dedicated my life.
How much is this this program you're going to? How much does it cost?
Oh, it's nothing. It's given at the open temple there in the port town at the Temple of Apara. It's a wonderful event. You should come, perhaps.
How many
if
of
you
these
want.
have you been to? Is it a good time?
This is my first real assignment outside the temple since I've taken my oath. So I'm very excited. I don't necessarily know what to expect, but I do have some parchment and ink. I'll be taking notes, of course, in the evening.
Huh. Very good. Well, we might drop by. Is there
Ah.
food? Do they offer food and drink?
Oh, I think I don't know. Maybe, perhaps, perhaps that night. And he looks over to.
Is it like an all day thing or all weekend?
Oh,
Bacchanal? What is it?
I think it's multiple talks. First one day and then the next.
Sounds thrilling.
No, it will be. It will be. It will be thrilling.
You know, maybe it would be prudent for us to all walk together since we seem to be headed in the same direction, and the countryside is rife with cattle mutilators.
It
Yes.
is.
Yes,
And talking trees.
we've seen the mutilated bodies of the cattle. Makes us nervous. I'm attempting to comfort us with some jocular tunes.
Okay. So the elder does not look to be very receptive to that, honestly. Says, well, we will certainly walk the same path as you. It is an open road for us to travel together, and there is safety in numbers, but
You a harp guy? Because our gnome is just, he's aces on the harp.
we don't get much music in our temple.
Well, you're in luck. Maybe I can make up the difference.
Luck.
Plinkety plink, plinkety plink.
Precisely what we're in. Yes.
All right. Well,
I'd love to.
let's pack up and we'll join you on the road.
Okay. So clearly,
I'm not
all of
good.
you.
I'm not going to turn my back on him. I'm going to keep him within eyesight and definitely framed up in my target area.
It's fairly clear to all of you that there's just something a little odd about them, though you haven't necessarily don't know any more detail than that, depending on who you are. So as we begin to pack up and get on the road, is there any information you want to share or walking order changed or any way you want to incorporate them into the travel?
I'll be happy to let them go first, and then I'll follow.
Where was the dagger pointing?
Continued down the road, the same road that you're both walking on.
I'd say standard marching order.
Yeah, but let them go first. I don't want them behind us.
Okay. Okay.
As I have the opportunity to talk to people out of earshot of these two, I'm going to explain how I saw this tattoo on one of them and that it means that I've seen it associated with this group, the Fall, that's some sort of bunch of extremists, both monks and sometimes assassins.
Do you know offhand if the fall jibes with the deity they're talking about going to see? Is that all one piece of cloth?
Well, can we
Or are
all
they
kind of
outrightly being lying to
knowledge?
us?
Yeah, so now that she's told you that, you may all make history and religion checks. Tell me what kind of check it was, and I'll tell you that your angle on the information.
Oh, boy.
One or the other.
Oh, they're both intelligence based, so here we go with nothing.
Pugh, what was your
A 7.
which side of the spectrum did you come at?
History.
History. Yeah, you haven't heard the history of the Fall. Is just you have heard something about an extremist organization. That's it. That's all you would know. Gooseneck, did you check in on this?
I got a 15 on my history.
15 on your history. So,
Yep.
Yeah, the Fall was. You realize at a 15 and higher that the extremism was sort of a only the strong will survive and the world will soon be in catastrophe. We will help usher it in, and we will prepare for a greater people as we overcome the catastrophe that will fall upon the world. It's sort of their beliefs as you sort of pluck them out of your memory of that. It's pretty good gist of it.
Okay. I'll pass that, surreptitiously pass that around.
So anybody higher than that on a history or have a religion check that they want to?
15.
I have a religion check, but it was only 13.
Okay, so I'll get to that. And you said 15 religion, Fathom? Okay.
Yep.
We'll go with, so yeah, at that religion, Fathom, so the Fall is actually not aligned with any of the religions that you would know. There'd be no real reason to. It's really about individuals adapting to become stronger and more powerful. You do know that they will take. They sometimes dabble in necromancy as an experiment on how to improve humanoids.
Didn't one of them
They're sounding a lot
say
like
that
Nazis.
Maleficus guy was going to discuss a deity?
Just saying.
Isn't that what they-
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to
So
discuss
doesn't that
deity.
seem weird? Why are they going to
Yeah, it does seem weird.
deity talk if they're not into deities?
Seems out of place.
That's what I wanted to know, is if they're actually connected
share
or
that
if that was just a total
information
bullshit story.
Yeah, that casts some doubt on their story, to be sure. So I will share that information as subtly as I can with my friends.
Well, they're in front of us, so we can just tell
Yeah,
you.
we
that's
can just
why-
take turns hanging back and exchanging information.
Yeah, you're able to get all of this as you.
I can actually message it to people for sure to make sure nobody can hear that. Yeah,
So
very
their
crock-a-baloney.
stated religion or their stated temple doesn't seem to match with what we know of their tattoos.
Correct.
Okay, so they're lying.
Yeah,
That kid seemed real excited about it.
he does.
Well, maybe he's overselling it.
Or maybe he doesn't know.
Maybe
When
he's
all
a
the
sacrifice.
when all the surreptitious information is being passed around, I'm going to ask my comrades, should I attempt to charm these two so we can milk them for some data?
Won't they be very hostile after it wears off?
Not if I use my
We're going to have to kill him anyway.
if I use my what do they call this, enthralling performance.
Oh, there we
If
go.
there's no there's no listed negative consequences for passing the savings throw. They're just not charmed.
Go for it.
And they're all away.
Yeah.
What happens if they are enthralled?
What if one
Then
is
they-
and one isn't?
Then they think they're my buddy for an hour.
Okay, that seems worth it.
Yeah.
Surprised you don't
Okay.
do the stab rant all the time.
Do we know how far out from town we are?
You're probably a full day away from town, but You did hear something about a road, like a roadside place to stop and refresh along the way.
I'll ask him what the name of the town is we're going to.
Ah, yes. We're going to Venn.
Okay.
That's not where we just were, was it?
No, you were in Breakwater, and you are also Breakwater was before you got to the main town. It was a keep. So Venn is the major port you're going to.
Okay. So they're not making
let's
that.
roll.
No, no, it does check out. Okay.
Well, I'm going to get out my harp and use my tiny Billy Barty fingers to attempt to charm these two with my
Pick it,
enthralling
Harpo.
performance.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the song we need right there.
The DC is 15 wisdom save.
What was that DC again?
I think he said
Yeah, Billy.
15. Oh, there he is.
Okay, they did not
I-
save that. They just sort of, that's a wonderful tune that you're playing.
Ah, I'm glad you enjoy it, my friends.
Yes.
It's so nice to have regular people. One gets so tired of elvish company
And dragons.
and
Oh.
dragons and cattle mutilations.
That sounds difficult to overcome, though we
Yeah.
have many elves in our order as well.
I'm sure some of them are
Really?
very nice.
That's very interesting.
And so, what? How are you coming into town? What is your business in Venn, if we may ask?
We're on a mission.
From God.
A
Oh, and
mushroom
we're trying to get the boat.
Just on a mission. We're
Ah.
seeking adventure. And
Oh.
frankly,
We're in
since
between
that's such a
jobs.
large town, we figured that would be a good place to start.
Yes, adventure. It's an interesting lifestyle choice. Dangerous. Many people don't live long, and in that.
We live pretty long. So far, we've done very, very well. We're trying to upgrade a little bit, though. As you can see, I have but a single pair of otter pants, and I'd like the rest of the outfit.
Yes.
What are their names?
So they did not give them before, but
What are your
upon
names?
And they don't
Upon-
sit down.
and they don't sit down. But upon asking them this time, it's Brother Yaris, which is the older one, or the sterner-looking older one, and Brother Marthis.
Yaris and Marthis.
Yes.
Yep.
So I will say, I couldn't help notice, but as we were eating our toasted marshmallows back at the campfire, that as you lifted your arm, you had some very interesting mark on your forearm. What is that? A significant symbol in your order? I'm unfamiliar with it.
He pulls it. He very, very consciously kind of goes to it and pulls it down. What is your
Concealing it?
Yeah, making sure it's concealed. You can tell, even though he's friendly with you. What is your passive insight?
Passive insight is 11.
Okay. Yeah, he's concealing it. He doesn't. He's not. He's nervous that you saw it. He says, it's from an older time.
Oh, yes. We all have our pasts.
Yes, we do. We do, my friend.
Well, I'm sorry to have brought attention to something that may be a source of shame. So
Yes.
none
It is
of
good to
these,
know you weren't always so taciturn and dour, though.
So what is your passive insight, Corncob? You're up there in the
14.
14. So when you say something, when you imply that having that is shameful, that does not sit well with him.
Roll for initiative.
What was shameful?
The tattoo?
Yeah,
He-
you something you said.
Yeah,
we
he's
all
poking
have
the
our
bear.
past things of shame, and you just a look crosses his face that you caught that was like,
Oh, our,
Keep
our
picking that
gnome,
scab.
our gnome meant nothing bad by that. He's covered in scars and tattoos.
And
He's-
past indiscretions
You should
and
hear his
failures and
history.
regrets.
You can read it on his body. As a matter of fact, he makes us do that sometimes.
yeah, he's so
It's in Braille.
you clearly
my
can
eye.
see he's kind of like mildly riled up that you would think that this, but he is also remaining calm. It's just that your insight is good enough that you can tell that he's not happy with you bashing this tattoo.
Past indiscretions. You should ask our elf.
Now, is it a tattoo or is it scarification?
It's scarification. It's scarification. But it is
A brand.
It is inked as well.
Owie.
Are you gonna keep poking the guy with the tattoo?
Now, it's the younger
No.
one that has the tattoo, right?
The
Or the
younger
older
one is the one you saw it on and you approached with this. Yes.
Okay, so it's Marthas.
And
Yara
and he's the one
Marthas.
that's riled up, or
Yes,
the older one
Marthas.
is riled up.
I don't have any tattoos. Did that hurt when you got it?
You suspect someone would know immediately, and he looks a little bit like he doesn't know how to answer that, and he says, "Yes, it did.
Good.
Well,
So, and that lasts how long? 1 hour or 1 minute? This charm, as your
an hour.
An
It
hour.
lasts an
Okay.
hour.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be peppering him for a while.
I mean, they regard you as friendly, but that doesn't mean that they can't be offended.
Yeah.
We
yes.
don't know anything about that.
No.
You guys gonna keep trying to offend him?
That is a good question.
No, well, it's charmed unless I inflict damage on it or attack it, or it sees me attack or damage its allies.
Right. Yeah, and charm just means that they regard you favorably and as a friend.
Okay.
No, I was just interested in the tattoo. I'm not poking any fun at him.
Right.
Well, I want to pretend as if I'm oblivious, which may not be much of a pretense, and just continue to pursue it and just conversationally say, well, I've always had a passing interest in, always a passing in body markings and scarification. Tell me the story of how you acquired yours. You know, we bards are always collecting interesting tidbits of lore and narrative.
Okay. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
we've got a long road ahead of us. Start spinning some yarns.
Yeah, tell us the story.
you were definitely friends to them. So, he says, well, yes. Well, I'm sorry to act so. I'm sorry to act so
Rude?
modest about it. It's really. I was a young child, and I was orphaned. I was orphaned, and I was a wonderful foundation picked me up and paid for my education and my clothing. I was well fed, and at a point, I don't mean to brag, but they noticed that and that I was preternaturally disposed to, to magic, and they thought it would be useful to help them, and of course I want to pay back those that helped me, and I agreed to join their acolyte program, and I learned much about the how the end of the world is coming soon, and
Well, we
so
know that.
yes, I'm glad you do, and we meet so many people who don't.
Oh, it's
Witness the
obvious.
cattle mutilations. Hello.
Yeah, it's obvious. We're prepared for that as well.
Yes, good. And we will. They taught us how to be, we're learning how to be stronger and survive and overcome it. So it's part of that. I read as I read into the chapters of our book, then to read some of the later chapters, there's ranks, as there are in many monk monasteries and temples, and
So
acolyte
you know how to
programs.
read even.
Oh yes, they taught us how to read.
That must be a very powerful order.
Well, the order itself is a bit of a charity, but they like to pick
Charity,
out the
you say?
brightest. Yes, but they get to choose from the brightest individuals, and I mean that is again, I don't want to imply that I'm that, but they did pick me out.
What sort of magics are you skilled at? You mentioned that you had a gift for it. Is it large magics, small magics, hedge wizardry? What sort of thing do you do?
And then, so he's interrupted by the older man, who is listening to this and not stopping him. He says, "We do large magics, we're not hedge wizards. Our gifts are divine, though not divinely directed."
Well, I can understand that.
Rhonda, you are muted.
Is that what the talk is about? The end of the world?
Not specifically, but there will be bits of information uncovered that we would like to hear within this chat.
And who was it you're saying that's delivering these lectures? You mentioned his name before, and I can't recall.
Melefithus.
Very interesting. Now, so it was the do they mention the name of the order to which they belong?
No, I mean, even though you're friendly with them, they are definitely cagey about it. They do not mention any orders.
Wow. So this organization that took you in as a foundling child, that's a marvelous and admirable act. And I'm assuming that you're not the only one that they would give succor.
Oh, no. Stop. No, they're well known. They help children all across the land. It's the Redwood Foundation.
The Redwood Foundation?
Yes. I mean,
so this mark on you was given to you by the Redwood Foundation?
Oh, no. No, they do teach and they educate at the Redwood Foundation. They provide us clothes and jobs, and part of that, of course, is that they have recruiters from various different brewmasters, carpentry, clerical, and we were founded by the order. Musical, perhaps. I never had much musical talent myself, so.
Well, a gnome like
you mentioned the end of the world. Are there signs that you've seen? I have to admit, it seems like the mission of saving children and the end of the world doesn't seem to mesh up very well.
Well, you're obviously a good man and good natured, but to disclose the information that we learn, you have to be beyond certain ranks in our order. I can't go too far into detail.
Sure, I understand that. I mean, we're just making conversation. And like I said, it's a long road.
Yes, it is. It is. Interestingly, about this time, unless they're, so I don't know how much you want to grill them. You tell me if you need more information before this hour passes, because an hour is a long enough time, but I know you don't want to role play for the whole hour.
We don't need to role play the whole hour,
No.
probably.
No.
Well, I want to get as much information as I can about how
How
they
old
made
is their order?
Oh, that's a great question. So, and that's one that they readily answer. The younger one is very, very interested in saying it's over a millennia old.
Huh. Millennia old and still no end of the world. It must be frustrating. I'm not going to say that out loud.
So, can we hear them talking?
Yeah, yes. They have not been coy about this or secret anyway.
So, can we do a history check on the when they said the Redwood Foundation? Like if we've heard anything about them or
Yeah, so even you as players have heard it come up before, and it is totally possible to do a history check. If you're interested in that, give me a history check.
18.
18. Okay. Anybody else?
16.
I got 11.
Okay.
20.
20. Okay, so 18 and 20
There we go.
are big ones here. Yes, so the Redwood Foundation is, they are fairly well known. They're in many, many towns. Maybe just a small unit in some. Some towns have been, that are very large. They do take and help children that are orphaned and youth, and then often clothe them, feed them, raise them,
So
educate them.
They're a legitimate organization.
They're a legitimate organization. I will say with the 20 and above, okay, there has been a little bit of contention in the history from time to time, because they do seem to have a militant side that it's very, sometimes some people said, well, you just have to have strong organization and to have that many children in some of these orphanages that they put on, and so they do have routine, like military academy type, training. So they have physical exercise. They have, along with their classes and things like that. But they also have, and their reasoning behind it has always been, not everybody is a craftsperson, not everybody is a farmer, and so they have a small standing militia, but that's not too small in some areas, to be honest. That is derived from from sort of as an output of the Redwood Foundation. There's nothing that fits necessarily the mark that these monks have, or the assassins, that although it is true that these children as they grow up are kind of earmarked. Some just become into normal everyday citizenry. Some do end up in high positions of power, and some end up in the military, in the militia unit for the Redwood Foundation. But they are all kind of universally educated, clothed, fed, treated well. But there's a little bit of something more there, and historically speaking.
What do they do with that militia? Like, do they use it as a mercenary troop? Do they run protection rackets with?
So they have, from time to time, used it as a mercenary group. It helps refund back into the Redwood Foundation, although they take donations from many generous leaders, especially if any of those leaders came out of the Redwood Foundation. So yeah, it's not as though they are absolute mercenaries. They sometimes get the the um, the the bad spotlight of, you know, protecting towns as militia for towns, like the extra, not the guards, but maybe a special units or things that are brought into a town. Often, 20 is a good roll. So you would also know that often that does correlate with higher ranking people in that town also having had some part with the Redwood Foundation in their youth.
Cool.
I think we need to get to the town.
I knew from the very beginning when Gene was like, all right, we're going to kill some people today. I was like,
No.
The dragon fight was last week, guys.
We
Now,
could still kill him, but
is there any connection that anybody knows of between the Redwood Foundation and this mark that Kay saw?
Well, the fall.
Nobody in this group, other than the possibility that it seems like the Redwood Foundation likes to put some of their members into organizations to learn and or control them, and so that might be a natural path.
So they're looking for mutants is what they're doing, and then they sift the mutants out from the orphans and promote them within their ranks to promote these super soldier guys.
In this guy's narrative, there was nothing specific about how he became affiliated with the Fall.
No, nothing at all. Other than, you know, he was sort of earmarked and he had a natural talent, and so he was shoulder tapped for this organization. They did not name the Fall, but implied that was, that's who taught him his magic skills.
Do we get the sense that the Redwoods are kind of seeding people into some of these things to watch them, or that they're sketchy and recruiting people for like this doomsday cult?
Yeah, as you talk it all out,
various purposes.
As you're kind of talking it all together, I would think the best there. I think you have two probably competing bits of information that are of equal weight. One is that they're probably putting him in organizations and areas to control, to have sort of the roots of power in everything they can. And then one of them is possible that part of that is that they have a very direct ties at some higher up into the Fall, and believe that will be the best course.
So they're seeming a little more nefarious than they would like to appear on the surface.
Yes. Although, and historically there have been challenges brought up against them, but they're always squeaky clean and a wonderful organization that takes care of, youth.
And it's obviously an inconsistency in this guy's story that the tattoo is an indiscretion of his youth, and yet he has been selected for advancement.
Yes.
So I am going to charmingly sidle up to Yaris and ask him if he's got any interesting markings that he would be willing to show me, since I'm collecting information. Nothing immodest, please. Not enough.
Make a advantaged persuasion check.
14, 18.
18. Well, many of us came to the same path, so of course I've got the same markings as Martha's here.
Ah, nothing unusual and unique then. That's unfortunate.
No, yes.
So he was also a redwood orphan?
Yes.
I
Well,
don't see us
It's
doing anything but
it's
following these guys into town
Yeah, let's
it's
do that.
impressive to be
or
in
to
the
the
company
inn.
of two guys selected for such elite circles.
No, well, we all have our path, don't we, my friend?
Oh, we do. Adran, you probably need to kill these guys. I don't say that out loud.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we're going to let that hour pass.
Well, while they're still friendly with everyone, can I drop back a little and check on the dagger just to
Yes.
hopefully they're distracted with all the conversation?
Yep. The dagger
wonder
is
if-
still pointing down this road. It is a little bit off of it, though, as you come up over. So it looks like it's going to, either the road's going to turn. I mean, it goes on and off because the road is not straight. But it looks like
Does someone know if you
scan?
scan them for magic?
Ooh, no one has done that yet.
I know, but is that something they can detect?
You could do it stealthily. Most
Well,
people
I
would not
can't.
be able to detect that.
Okay. I'm wondering if maybe that's something we should do, or if we should just.
So you want me to cast detect magic and then
Well, you
Well, what do you think?
you do
Do you
know
think
where they're
that
going
would-
to be in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, but if they're packing some big magic, that sweetens the pot, so to
Yeah.
speak.
That's true.
Wait, now we're shaking people down for magic items? Is that what you're saying?
No, not shaking them
Well-
down, just ridding the world of a scourge, and maybe getting some magic items.
Well, I think the scourge goes deeper than this, but
Well, but it would
And
be
it's
helpful to know what
redwood.
they're carrying, don't you think? Or no? I mean, it's your spell. I
all
just
right,
was.
well, I'll drop further because I don't have.
If we
be
have
near
to
them
kill
all.
them, I'd like to know why they're wandering around by themselves day and night
Yep.
down a road that's obviously infested with cattle mutilations, dragons, talking trees. You know,
So
all
you drop
nine
back.
They're
yards.
trying to be stronger. They were upfront about that. I don't think that's the part of their story that's fishy.
Okay, all right.
But I'll drop to the
before-
back of the row and do the magic
Okay.
mumbo jumbo and then get close enough, which I think is
Alright.
30 feet.
So one of the first things as you approach, you notice is the sort of faint and fading aura of the charm magic that clearly Pugh has cast upon them. The other thing you notice is one of them, the older one, has 2 magic items. One, a ring that's on his hand, which you did not see visibly until you cast Detect Magic. And one of the pouches on his side is clearly of the type that would be a bag of holding, which you've certainly heard of.
Those are useful. Maybe we aren't.
Oh, he's got his whole army in there.
What have I heard of rings that can appear invisible when they don't make you invisible? They are invisible.
There are many thief type items that you have heard of. Usually they're made for someone who wants to conceal something. So people who either want to deceive and hide, become someone else and not know that they have magic, or people who just don't want to conceal all the things about them that might be magical. Those are usually made for the rogue-like individual adventurers, but not always. They're made for anybody who wants to infiltrate spy-type networks would use them.
Before the hour runs out, I want to be certain I clearly understand where they claim to be going and who they claim to be
You do.
going
You
to
do.
listen to.
Yes, you know the.
And I want to know if they're going to stop at the inn that we know is between here and there?
No, they're not going to stop at that inn.
Their
They
plan
on-
is to go day, night, day, all the way in.
Yep, they want to get into town and get to their
Listen,
rooms.
that part really is sticking in my craw.
Yeah, they're on
They're
a
going to fall
timeline.
asleep during that lecture.
Aren't we? But we're coming up on the spot where the knife is starting to diverge.
It is starting to diverge. It is kind of acting like it's going to go to the inn because as your dialogue with them, they have said that the inn goes down a road that's that direction. Not too far, but a little bit down the road. It was originally a farm. They know that the name of this inn is the Rowdy Peach.
The
Rowdy Peach. Doesn't
Rowdy
sound like a
Peach.
place for a couple of monks.
No, and that's why they would never stop there.
No.
Sounds perfect place
Yeah.
for a gnome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good place for Abran and the gnome.
Um,
So I guess the big question is, are we going to just follow the knife, or are we going to waylay these
How
guys
long-
and steal their magic items?
How long are they timing themselves to hit the main presentation right away, or is there some time after they get to town at their current pace between their arrival and the presentation they're going to?
There'll be a full day and a half in between their arrival at their present pace and
I say we go to the inn and then go to
Yeah,
the
let's
town.
do the drop off so we don't have to worry about that orb anymore.
Is that what you were going to say, Abran? All right.
Yeah, because if we got a day and a half before they
I'm
kill
all for
whoever's
killing.
doing the speaking or whatever they're doing here.
I'm all for killing, but I don't know if they deserve to be killed yet.
Yet.
I don't think the bag of holding thing, you never know what he could have in there.
Yeah,
You can't
Uh,
put living things in the
I-
bag of holding.
Cannot.
Except-
I don't think
Suffocate.
so.
You could
Yeah.
put dead things in a bag of holding.
Good.
Yeah,
Like
there was
elves.
necromancy mentioned.
Is there a size limit of what you can you put a person-sized thing in a bag of holding?
You could. Getting them past
Depends
the
on the
entry
bag.
might require them to be squished
Cut up.
or chopped up a little bit, but
Yep. They're carrying bags of dead elves.
the
parts
rules
that
for
they're
what will fit.
reanimate.
The rules for
when
what
they
will
get
fit
to
in a bag
town.
of holding is that it just has to be able to enter the seam. And
Yep.
the bag opens up like a sack, so it's probably like a 12 to 15 inch.
Just dehydrated dead elf powder. Like Kool-Aid. They're going to dump it in the water when they get there. I don't want any part of these guys.
Then roll
And I don't
initiative.
want to show up in town with them. That's what I don't want to have happen.
Well,
No,
Does-
we're
y-
peeling
yeah,
off
does-
at the end.
Does
Yeah,
anybody
I don't want to
have
be
a
anywhere near
way-
these guys.
Does anybody have a way to mark them so that we could find them again later if we wanted to?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good idea, but
I don't think I
Wheeler?
have anything like that. Let me just see. Mhm. No, I don't think I have anything of that nature. I mean, we have chalk. We could literally mark them, but I don't think that's going to help.
That won't help find them again. Well, what I'll say is, it's so unusual to find such good friends on the road, just happenstance bumping into strangers. Your company has been so pleasant. Where will you be staying in town so we can find you again and maybe buy you a beer?
Yes, where we'll be staying. We're not entirely sure yet. First, we're going to go to, we wanted to check in. Yaris is from the Redwood Foundation there, so we were going to stay there with them. They often will let alums back to stay.
yeah,
So we'll be staying at
that's
the
nice.
Redwood Foundation.
That's the organization that just keeps giving.
So
Yeah, that's-
wonderful organization.
So if we happen to find our way into town here in the next few days, we'll swing by the Redwood Foundation, and if you all are still in town, maybe we can raise a pint.
Yes, of course. You could certainly ask for us. Our names will be registered in.
Ah, very nice. plinkety plink.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the end.
And at that point, you sort of veer off and excuse me. I'm going to pull these out of here. I'm going to approach you to, you go down a road change, slightly different direction. It veers off to the left. You make a left-hand turn. Justin, I think I have Spider Cam ready for this. And as you approach, you hear music, but you don't just hear music.
Much nicer.
There is outright brawling happening from inside. One of the shuttered windows sort of breaks off its hinges, and
like joyful brawling.
I mean, it seems good-natured, I guess. I mean, no one's pulling
like a
weapons.
Regular bar brawl, not insurrection.
Yes, like a regular bar brawl. And just as you hear a loud but kind of on the high timbre voice say, "You will all stop this at this instant." It's feminine, and everything sort of comes to a stop, even as from your outside. And the person on the ground just sort of rolls over and goes, "Oh," and tries to get up. And you can see outside, you see a picture on the sign of a peach that's got like a Band-Aid, essentially, a little wound covering on it. And it says "The Rowdy Peach" underneath. And that is
this is the place we were going to go anyway.
That is where the dagger is pointing towards this establishment, and that is the middle of our game today, and where we have to take our first break, our only.
Awesome.
Let's go ahead and settle some hash.
So, everyone watching, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in 10 or 15 minutes, and to continue and find out what everyone's going to do in the Rowdy Peach now that they have all kinds of hooks for Ven. I love this port town. They've got 10 ways to go. I have really screwed myself with all the things that they can do. But that's the way it goes. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, see you in...
Don't worry, if you've put out 10 plot hooks, we'll find number 11.
And we'll question it to death.
Break 4, trying to get the 5th.
Yes. Yeah.
You will. welcome
Shoot him.
back. We have arrived at the Rowdy Peach, for those just joining us. And I've got to actually stop the fighting part of it because someone from inside just said, knock it off. And it did get quiet, as though whoever said that has got some sort of authority. You see a gentleman outside. He's come out of that window in between the wagon on the ground, just trying to roll over and get up. And you see Mom sort of like, let's get out of here, pulling her kid away.
I'll go over to him and make sure that he's okay.
Okay.
Using my medical ability.
All right. Yeah, you head over. At this point, this woman and her child are scurrying off down the road. Anyone else heading over with Corncob?
Yeah, I'll head over to the door area.
Get closer.
Okay.
Yeah, move there.
We'll
Seems
all
like
head in
there's-
that general direction.
No fighting inside as well now.
It has stopped. Yes, there is still dialogue. It's sort of, oops, come back. There are some rowdy-sounding voices, as though maybe whatever is going on in there isn't entirely settled, but the fists are put away, you might say.
Hey, why'd they bounce you?
Check the dagger. Check the dagger.
Yeah, I'll check the dagger.
Dagger
Sure.
is pointing inside the tavern to the right side of the screen there, actually. So specific. It's so sensitive at this point. You're guessing whoever it is you're supposed to meet is inside the Rowdy Peach.
I wonder if we'll just know them when we see them.
Who told you guys to knock it off?
Oh, that was Mabel. She runs this place. You don't cross her.
What did you do? Why did they throw you through the window?
There's some. He looks up at you, and then he looks over at Hugh Joel. Well, there's some rowdy dwarves in there, sir. And, they didn't.
All right.
Just didn't like something about me.
Well, you're not a dwarf, obviously.
No, I'm not.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
Oh well, it's okay. I was probably.
But you
leaving
can't be
anyway.
responsible for the circumstances of your birth. We can't all be born dwarves.
Well, no, I reckon not. Yes.
Now, is he all right?
Yeah, he does. What was your check number again? You said you did medicine check.
14.
He's okay. He's gonna have some bruises, and he's got some small cuts where the wood scraped him as he broke through the shuttered window, and landed on the ground out there. And other than
I'll
that,
tell
he
him to
seems
go
okay.
home and take whatever analgesics he can and make sure and wash those cuts real good.
Yeah. No,
Say your prayers and eat your carrots.
I got to get back. I had my 2 drinks anyways. Enjoy your time. Mabel's in a mood. Be careful. And he just sort of gets up.
Is Mabel a dwarf?
As you're parting and says that, he says, "Yeah, I think so."
Huh.
And then
Thank you.
just takes off.
Can I go over there and peek in the window?
Yes, and then I heard, was it? Who else wanted to? So wait a minute. Get you peeking in the window. He's taken off. Move this goods cart over. You're peeking in the window. Corncob, you okay staying there?
I'll go in.
Go in first. I'll follow Corncob in.
Corncob and Abran. Kay.
Yeah, I'm going to go in.
Okay. Gooseneck. Fathom.
Yes.
I'm going in. I'm
Maybe
gonna
we
try
should
to spread the crowd, see who the
Walk in
leaders-
like we own the joint.
should we make sure we've got kind of a protective ring around Fathom, just in case?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Okay.
Oh, because
Ah,
she's got the dagger?
We-
Trouble
we
because
think
she's got
the-
the dagger.
Right.
We think
And
our
she's-
contact is in here.
I don't think
She's
dwarves
bound to
hate
roll a one.
tieflings.
I went ahead and did a little ring around you. Pugil, as you look in the window, since it's going to take you less time to run over there and sort of pop your head in, you see a fairly well-populated tavern. It is definitely a dining establishment. There's no inn involved in here. Behind the bar, just the top of her head, you see a very small dwarf. So she almost looks maybe like she's halfling or has some halfling heritage. You're not entirely sure, but she does have, she seems to be
My greatest
pointing
fear.
and shouting orders at people. And then you see some serving people running around, and from your angle, you can just see right in front of the door 3 dwarves, and those must be the rowdy people that we were talking about.
I'll nod to him congenially.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Pugh, if only you still had your cask of special ale. You could woo her.
Indeed.
So we're gonna go
I
in.
might just have to charm her with my magics.
Corncob, you're the first in. Dwarves are right there at the door. I'm gonna give you guys a view of that if you like.
Are they the only dwarves in the bar?
Or
in the restaurant?
That's a great question. As you look around, you believe, other than the possibility of Mabel herself, yes.
I'll walk over and say in Dwarvish, "Hey, fellows, next round's on me."
Yes. Wonderful to have you in here. Brother, what clan are you from?
The Mountain Clan.
I see.
Murder
Well.
Hobo Clan.
So there's your sort of overall layout of what's going on in here. There are 3 dwarves. One of them is concealed by that pillar corncob in front of you. Immediately, you realize that 2 of them are definitely, so they have shield and battle axe. Other one is sporting like a short sword and a dagger on their side. Looks a little, I don't know, a little sneakier perhaps. And they do have a bit of a rough and tumble look about them. Some of the people in this tavern do, many do not. Some look like farmers, normal men. It's pretty wide diversity. It's not just, I don't know, I realize it's called the Rowdy Peach, but it may not be just a rowdy bar all the time. It's the initial impression that you all get. But it does look like
You
it
said
can
it's
be
mostly
cut loose.
food, right? I assume it's food and drink.
Yeah, food and drink. No sleeping is what I meant. There's no, like,
It's not an inn. Okay, I
it's
get
not
it.
an inn, yeah.
Who looks like they might be
Where's the dagger
like
pointing?
Great. So as you come in, do you have the dagger out, or are you just kind of taking a stab at who it might be?
I want to just kind of scan the room and see if I can guess first before.
Okay.
I'm going to make large gestures and try to keep these dwarves focused on me while the rest of them go around the bar.
Okay.
I'm going to help Corncob. I'm a clan crafter. So if they're shield dwarves or gold dwarves, they should be very friendly with me.
Okay. 2 of them
And I can
are
speak dwarvish, so
clearly
Well, there we go.
shield dwarves. The 2 that are more martial.
Let's keep them engaged.
we'll keep them engaged.
Camera 2, Justin. As Fathom, you swing around and look. There is one person that stands out to you, sort of by
Oh yeah,
themselves.
that one looks like the
Oh,
one.
well, there we go.
Yeah.
Mysterious figure in the corner. We should have known.
It seems
Good job
absurdly.
blending in.
Yeah. Whoever it is does not understand the rules of how you blend in this environment. However, also, they don't look like a rough person necessarily, but there is certainly a radius around them that people are not going. As even the servers, as they pass by tend to go around the inside of that pillar and not sort of the outside, even if it would be easier to get to that long table. There's a long table that's been set up with a lot, like someone is obviously celebrating over there. They've got a lot of food loaded on it. The rest of them are pretty normal. It looks like they've pulled two tables together. But this person is standoffish and alone in the corner.
Are they looking at us? Like, have they noticed that we just came in?
Oh, yeah. Their head is turned up towards you. You can't see their eyes. They've got a hood over, even in here, concealed. They do not look like they blend in at all.
All right. Well, I guess I'll sidle over there and try and get this over with quick, so we can look like we blend in.
I'll follow. I'll stay beside her.
Okay.
The dagger is for sure pointing at this weird person.
That is the direction that it pointed from the outside.
It's not very subtle to use that dagger, so.
It's not.
So we've got the dwarves tangled up. Pugh is romancing the bartender, the owner.
Actually, I did want to add, because I know Corncob and Gooseneck, you're talking to the dwarves, distracting them. Pugh, what are you doing?
Falling in love.
I will approach the bartender and offer my services as entertainment.
Okay.
Both personal and otherwise.
I knew that was coming. You had to know that was coming. Been a long road. He's a gnome with a harp.
Okay, what's your course of action?
I am a bard, for Pete's sake.
Just see if I can find one of the other servers or people who work here who look like they have a second, and see what I can find out about any local options for overnight stays. If this isn't in, is there another one around somewhere?
Okay. You can go up to, looks like someone that's grabbing drinks off the bar. You can go up to her and ask her. She's waiting for the bartender, or the bar back, assistant in this case, to finish pouring up a tray of glasses. So you have a little bit of opportunity there. Before you get to that, we'll get to the person that Abran and Fathom are approaching. Sort of looks up at you as you come over to them, expectantly.
I'll give them a nod and say, I expect that you're waiting for me to deliver an item.
Who might you be?
My name is Fathom.
I might be waiting for you, yes. Have a seat. And your elven companion.
I'll sit down, not too close. Do we get a look in the hood? Do we want to?
Make a perception check.
Does it smell like fungus in here? 5. So
5.
apparently I have no idea.
You can't see.
Most pivotal role in the whole game today.
Randy.
Most pivotal damn role, and it's a 5.
Abran, what's your perception?
Perception. 9. 14.
You think you see like maybe some horns popping out underneath there that's poking up the hood just a little bit, which you may have expected fungus of some sort, but you get horns.
Oh, okay.
But it's very dark other than that.
Mm-hmm. I turn over to Fathom and go like this.
That's very discreet of you.
Oh boy.
Do you also sit down, Abran? Or do you both sit down?
I think Fathom sat down.
Not super close.
I declined to sit down and just lean against the wall.
You're like the
drop
monks.
something and check for a tail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any messages from our mutual friend? Anything I need to know?
Not really, but I will. 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 Not I do need to assure that you've brought the correct item.
And you'd like to do that exchange here? You're not concerned about someone seeing it or anything?
These people hardly care about us at all.
Okay. I will hand him the orb then.
Okay. You put it on the table. He sort of puts his hand over it and pulls it in. So it's clear that he actually cares a little bit about how much. He looks at it. It looks like the right item. Good. Messages. None. I'm just a courier. Much as yourself. You're headed to Vin, though.
Yes.
Good.
I assume that I'm on my own recognizance now.
Oh, aren't you always on your own recognizance? We ask for
Depends
favors.
on my friend's help, I guess.
We get favors back. It's a simple relationship, really.
It is.
Good. Well,
Ask him about the fall and the redwood people.
Oh, that's a good point. I will ask him
We're
if he's
using
heard of
Bardic
it.
Whisper on her?
I think
Yes,
he-
yes, he is.
I'll use message, dadgummit, if I have to cast a cantrip, you picky role players.
Just do this at her, and maybe she'll figure it out.
Hey, if he has message, you could tell me.
Yes, you
I
hear
can tell him that.
you hear Pugil just trying to switch from his clearly romantic
He's working at the song lyrics.
conversation, yeah, that he's having with the barkeep, and it's just, I don't know if he got
Yeah, I
all of
don't
it out of
want
his
to hear
voice.
any of that. Don't send any of that over here, Pooja.
You could just hear it in the tone of his voice as he asked that question.
So I will ask this unusual person if they have any knowledge of the fall or the Wedwood Foundation.
Ah, the Redwood Foundation. Yes, of course.
No.
Stealing, recruiting children. Yes, I know of them. The fall. Now you've got my interest. What is your interest in the fall?
We met a couple of guys, and they just seem super shifty, so we're trying to learn a little more about them and their organization.
He looks you kind of up and down, looks at this elf that refuses to sit standing against a pole. They seemed super shifty.
Yeah, they wouldn't sit down either. It must be elves.
Oil your abs, Zabran.
So what we've learned is in this culture, people sit down or they seem super shifty. This is what we've learned.
Point taken.
Well, the fall is an occult, necromantic practicing organization. They do believe the end is coming, and they believe they're superior to others because they're readying themselves for it, not because
For
they
the
are.
past 1,000 years. So they're not like that much superior to everyone else. We've managed to keep on trucking this whole time.
1,000 years is a short period of time for some of us. He looks at Abran sitting there. Not even too long for some of your friends.
Sounds
Oh,
like
you
one of
don't
those
know.
anonymous videos.
It's going to be a while for him.
I do have a small message.
Okay.
I am asked to deliver. And he looks past you towards Abran.
Not shocked even.
Yes. I will go closer.
You'll
so,
go-
he doesn't
okay.
so he feels more comfortable talking,
Okay.
telling me this.
Ripple your abs on him.
Yeah.
Like a, yeah.
I think we strayed from the path too far.
Nauseating.
It is.
Consorting with demons and mushrooms. I knew it started out badly.
Demon mushrooms. So,
Now we're talking to some anonymous guy in a bar.
oh, some horned anonymous guy. So he looks at you, Aberrant, and says, You've avoided the favor so far. She's very proud of you.
Wasn't by any plan of mine, since I'm not quite sure what that favor might be. But I guess that's a compliment.
Well, it was until you revealed yourself.
Well, that's the only message I have. I will say, this was a challenging thing to be around all these people. I don't know how you stand it.
Other message?
So he sort of sits back in his chair. I'm going to stop there for a moment though, because I'm just trying to time things out for where everybody else is in the bar. So I'm going to go to Corncob and Gooseneck next for what they're talking to these dwarves in here as they approach. And oh, a round of drinks. Yes. We're all for that. We had to kick that damn farmer out.
Yeah, I saw you toss some poor schmuck out of here. What's up with that?
Talking about the lands that he needs to farm. Well, they're on our minds, of course.
Mines, eh? What sort of things are you mining, brother?
Metals. Wish they were
only
gems
the
and
best.
jewels, but good metals, fine metals, well crafted, or metals to craft well. The talker here seems to be, it's the dwarf on the left. So to your immediate right, Corncob,
Okay.
the sort of small one there. The one that is in front of the pillar that we can't see, she's just sort of eyeballing, looking around at both of you. And then the one that's obviously got like arms out is the one that's a little bit shady looking, got a dagger. Gooseneck, you recognize the one talking to Corncob and the female that we can't see on this shot as shield dwarves for sure.
Okay.
I'll
how
keep
long
my
have you
eye on
been
the
in-
shifty one. Oh, go ahead.
Uh,
I'm sorry, Gene.
I was just going to say, how long have you been at the tavern or been at this fine establishment?
Well, we've been here about 5 or 6 rounds, maybe an hour.
Enough
Tell me about Mabel.
enough to wet your whistles.
Yes, enough to wet our whistles, indeed. Mabel, oh yes, fiery. Definitely commands respect. Runs this place. It's free. It's a nice open place. We've been here before.
Yeah.
She
I was
keeps
going to
it
ask if
nice.
this is your usual joint.
Yeah, when we're stopping by on our way to Vin, this is the best place to stop. Best tavern, I would wager. Perhaps if you even counted in all of Vin. Although the Mud Worm is a fine place. If you go down to the
Mud
Mud
Worm, eh?
Flats. Yes. Quite a tavern. Mostly workers there, but good card games if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, of course.
Ooh, I went.
So do you go to Vin to do your business?
We do. We're coming back from Vin. We had a cart of ore to sell. Metal. No, we had already, not ore. My apologies. That's Frank's mistake. Metal.
Just raw materials? What kind of
Just-
metal?
Well, multiple kinds. We've been fortunate. We get both good iron and silver.
Really? Out of the same mine? That's
Well,
wonderful.
out of the same mountain.
Oh,
Perhaps
same
not
mountain,
the
of course.
same mountain.
No, you wouldn't expect it.
But we also don't like being accused of us stealing lands when they're obviously ours for generations.
Well, obviously, you don't need any sodbusters telling you how to run your business.
Indeed not. So are you traveling to Vin? Are you leaving?
Oh, we're traveling to Vin. I'm
We're
not
on the way to
exactly
Vin.
sure. I'm just here in the company of my fellows. They seem to have a more solid grasp of whatever they're trying to do. I'm just kind of along for the ride, if you know what I mean.
I do. I do know what you mean. Well, if you do go to Vin, the Mudworm does have rooms. Don't let them tell you they don't. They're not attached to the main tavern if you want to stay there and yet be around a nice drinking establishment. But if you're looking for
Mudworm.
comfort, you should go to the Gilded Blade.
A Gilded Blade. Well, I'll
Are
be
these
honest
both-
with you. We often find ourselves in the position of looking for more adventure. None of us seem to be stuck to the same area. Where do you think is the most action?
Mudworm, no doubt. All the rumors from the workers who work on the mud flats, best clam chowder you ever had. And they do talk with the docks quite a bit, and that is
Well,
where-
I might forego the comfort in favor of information.
Is the Mudworm a fine dwarven establishment as well?
No, not at all. Human run, probably half elven established.
Half elven established.
Yes. Vin is.
I'm not sure I trust half elves, but if you say it's run by humans, I guess that's all right.
It is run by humans, long out of elven hands. Vin itself was once an elven town, but no longer.
Huh. It sounds like it might have been named by an elf. It's just got that single syllable.
Well, in truth, Minnie wouldn't know this, but Frank is checking his notes. Damn it. Minnie wouldn't know it, but Ven is a human name for it. It's got a longer elven name, of course.
Yeah, elven. Sure, I get it.
It's a fine joke. Where's our ale? It's kind of just shouts up.
Well, I'll wave some money around in the air. It ought to attract somebody.
I'm assuming that you already did, and
Yeah,
when you said you were going to buy them around.
absolutely.
So Gooseneck, do you have any? Did you want to interject any before any extra? I guess.
I was going to say, since you're traveling back from Venn, we met a couple travelers on our way in, who are also on the way. They're priests from the order of, what was the order again? Corncob.
The fall.
I don't
Apara.
understand the affairs of
Apara.
men. I don't pay attention to that kind of thing.
And they have associations to the Fall and the Redwood organization. We were just wondering if you ran into any of them, or if the town is starting to swell with priests.
Huh.
Have you seen
No.
any of them?
Nothing like that. We stay our hand from these. These are weaker faiths.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
of course. We were just curious if you'd encountered them.
No, nothing. Nothing unusual. Have you not been?
Yeah,
to
we
Van?
keep hearing not so good things about the fall. Every time we mention it to somebody that's heard of them, they seem to react negatively.
Then, apparently you haven't been there. It's a theocracy.
It is.
Would be.
What's their deity? What's their main deity in Vin?
Well, fortunately, it's not exclusive entirely, but Rhonda is the main
Rhonda?
deity. Yes.
Rhonda?
God damn it. This is very old, Rhonda. It's not spelt that way.
Okay.
I apologize.
Well,
That's going to be confusing. Okay.
It
So-
is.
but they tolerate, obviously, these
Rhondas.
pilgrims we met on the road, we're going to hear a different faith spoken about. So obviously they're fairly tolerant.
Lawful. Iron hand of law. So, all willing to work within the
That's
law
fine for us.
are accepted.
Huh.
By the way, that's Rhanda.
Okay.
Rhonda.
Randa.
Man, I realized right after I said it, and I had never thought of it until this moment.
That would be very confusing.
All good. Okay. Well, Jason, I'm sorry, Corncob, do you have any other questions for these guys?
No, I think we should just, Drake, is there any gambling
sure.
going on in this establishment? Knuckle bones,
Buy another round.
card?
We can play some cards at that table, and he points over to a table near the bar. You can see Pugh is already kind of underway, trying to start a conversation with Mabel. And you see a table that's relatively empty, close to that area. These dwarves don't seem to occupy a table. They seem to just be occupying a space at the front. But then again, they did just come out of booting somebody out the window. So,
All right. Well, thanks for the information and the tip about the mudworm. I think that's going to pan out for us. But I'm going to go over here and see what kind of action is over here at this table, I think.
sure thing. We'll be here.
So enjoy your medal. Hopefully we'll meet again.
I'm sure we will, brother. And so they kind of go about their conversation. Right at the area, you can tell the drinks being pulled and poured for this bartender is the woman at the bar. Right in the middle.
We'll make
there,
sure
right-
whoever need to be paid is paid.
Okay, and this is the person who Kay has approached. So she's waiting for the drinks to be poured, Kay. And you approach her.
Yeah, excuse me. Do you have a second? I just got a quick
Yeah.
question.
Of course, I have just a second.
So we had been told that this place was an inn, which it is clearly not. Is there some other place in the area for staying overnight?
Well, we're sort of a halfway place, but sometimes people do get a little too much to drink or can't quite make it all the way to Ven. Yes, of course. There are some smaller establishments, a couple. There is, you are new here, I'm assuming, so there's the Peach Tree Inn, which is just across the way, not too far from here. They have 3 rooms, usually. Busy season, it can be hard to get a room there, but I'd recommend there first, if at all possible. Otherwise, you might find yourself at the pits. I'm one of those DMs. I'm sorry.
We're not going to the pits.
You are muted, or we can't hear your audio, Jen. There we go.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to end up in the pits. That doesn't sound good. Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And she hoists up a drink and says, "What'll you be having? I'll just be ready to get it." And where are you?
Just an ale.
Sure thing. And she just takes off and heads over to the dwarves with what she's got in her hand.
Okay.
Okay. So you've pulled that out and she begins to walk away. As you kind of look around, survey about the room, you can see that in this amount of time, it seems like Abran and Fathom are kind of still in conversation. Abran's actually leaned in a little bit closer to the fairly shady person in the corner. It looks like Corncob and Gooseneck are wrapping up their conversation and are heading towards a table that is directly behind Pugil. Speaking of Pugil, he's about to get into a conversation, but any direction you want to head before I find out what Pugil's doing?
So that table behind Pujol, there's card playing happening?
There is a deck of cards on there, and it looks like it's about to happen. There is someone just sort of heading that direction along with Corncob and Gooseneck. Yeah.
Don't make us
sure.
sorry we gave.
All right.
You were breaking up, Bobby.
You were.
I said, don't make us sorry that we gave you the money.
Oh,
we didn't.
Little faith.
We don't know this side of Kay.
Maybe she just gets us more money now.
Yeah.
Or not.
We'll
not.
see, I guess. Pugil. Mabel's at the bar. It's kind of the first place you head through all this sort of ruckus and conversation. And
I would like to scan the room, and I'm particularly interested in the big guy with the yellow cloak and the mace. Anything unusual about that guy?
So, okay, yeah, let me point out the tables a little bit to you. There is a smaller, sort of just normal size human, I guess, that's going to be at this table everybody's kind of converging on in your party, or will be, I know, looking in advance. Here there's two people chatting, pretty normal looking, although one of them looks like he may be from a little bit of martial ties. The Dwarven group is definitely sort of the most outfitted with armor and weapons, and look like a true band of adversaries if you were to meet them on the road, perhaps. In the middle table where you see the cloak and mace person, these look like very relaxed ruffians, I guess you would say. They do not look like they belong to any particular organization because their clothing does not match. Mercenaries might be a good way to describe them. But they do look like they're probably up for a little bit of amusement in the form of violence, but right now they just look like they're eating and getting some drink on. And then there's a larger... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Are they travel stained or probably local?
Probably local. And then there's a celebration on the long table that looks like it's very agriculturally based, probably. These people look like farmers and shepherds, cattlemen, perhaps. I don't know, that are just maybe a good crop. You're not really sure the reasoning, but they've got a table laden and they're celebrating.
But nobody other than the weirdo in the corner sticks out as somebody from outside this region. Definitely not. No, the weirdo in the corner sticks out far enough that everyone's avoiding him. Okay. Except for Fathom and Habergan.
That should be the name for this episode, by the way. Weirdo in the corner.
The weirdo in the corner.
Weirdo in the corner.
Now, are we planning on spending the night? Or are we going to head towards Vin?
Vin.
I
guess that would depend on whether you get lucky with the bartender, huh?
No,
yeah. What time is it?
I'm not doing any stupid bard crap.
It was a half day to get here from your morning travel, so you.
Let's go to town. Let's find the rusty hagfish or whatever it's called. A mudworm.
Mudworm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you've dropped off the orb. It's looking pretty good.
That's all we really had to do, right? Was just drop off the orb.
Yes. And dipped your toe in the information of the very large town you're getting into, yes.
And there was no other messages from the Mushroom Queen, no other direction that he was willing to give us.
No. But you get this suspicious feeling that Fathom, well, I don't know, what is your insight? Abran, you're hanging around Fathom. You've hung around this mushroom queen, you've hung around Fathom.
Yeah. So you want me to do an insight check?
Yeah.
All right.
At advantage, actually.
Okay.
Which is much.
About a 22.
Wow.
The other one, I had a 2 and a 20. So thank you for the advantage.
You get the feeling that Fathom is never really entirely free of the Mushroom Queen. Just from the way their dialogue went, it was very much a don't call her, she'll call you, but don't worry, she knows your number sort of exchange that happened there.
There you go.
Kind of the same exchange we had with the blue dragon.
A little bit.
Once you roll in the fungus, you never go back, I guess.
Yeah.
Do I get any sense that if we took care of this creepy guy, that it would not bode well for us with the Mushroom Queen?
Dude, it would not bode well for us.
So that's a pretty good insight roll. You get the sense that the creepy guy doesn't matter, but if he doesn't deliver, if that orb doesn't get to where it's supposed to go, that would not bode well for you.
Okay.
The creepy guy is secondary to that problem.
Are we all together now? Are we able to share information?
Not yet. You're about to be.
Okay.
So my vote is to let's head on
Play
to
some cards.
Vin.
Yeah,
But
Mike.
unless you want to.
I'm going to move
Before
you. Yes, before Pugh.
Before I take my leave, I'm going to ask, what's her name? Barbara? What's her name?
Mabel.
Mabel. I'm going to ask Mabel if she could recommend any jewelers in Vin. Are there any jewelers that do custom jewelry work?
There are
I have a stone that needs setting.
some fine jewelers. There are indeed. Make no, never mind. I'll make an insight. Hold on. What are you looking for here, Pugil? Are you so you say there's a fine stone with a setting?
I'm gonna get that rock that the dragon gave me set in a necklace.
Oh. Okay. Says there are some jewelers that do some fine custom work. So I would recommend. Oh, I think there's two you could go with. You could go with the Tiny Pearl, the wonderful jeweler.
Tiny Pearl.
Or
Mini Pearl.
Tiny,
Yeah.
the Tiny Pearl.
Oh.
Or you could go, if you were, especially if you wanted it to be more ornate, there is just Johnson's Jewelry.
Yeah.
All right.
Seems like a chain.
Thank you for the tip. I would
Sounds
love
like
to
a
It
chain.
does.
Should have went to Johnson's.
Yes, I went to
Yep.
Johnson's.
He went to
I'd love to-
Johnson's.
Yeah. So, yeah, either one of those will do fair, but one will certainly give you a fancier piece by far.
Well, I
So-
would like to. It looks like my friends are preparing to depart. Otherwise, I would love to stay and provide entertainment for your guests.
Well, I'm sure you'll be ordering some drinks, yes?
Yeah, I'll have a beer before we take off.
Good. How about your party, your table? Are you getting them something?
No, just me.
I see.
Wow.
And she looks over and she goes,
Way to win her over. Way to win her
Joseph!
over.
Beer, now! I mean, she totally changes her from where she's talking to you as you sort of head back to the table.
Well, in that case, I'll wave the waitress over to where we are and buy around for our table.
Yeah.
All right. No problem. You get someone coming over there, giving you a full round of, well, not given for free. The prices seem fairly reasonable in here. For a full round for all 6 of you, it's going to be 3 silver pieces.
Oh my gosh.
Gee.
Cha-ching.
Hey, we're not that rich anymore.
No, I
No,
guess not.
I don't want to
We have
change
to
the
point it-
platinum in here.
point
We'll,
it
we'll
K.
pick up every ne'er-do-well in the whole joint.
So you sit down. Sitting at the table along with you. Where did this miniature go? I have them right here. We go. You get so you're interested in a game of cards, I see.
Depends on what the buy-in is. I just bought a round for our table.
Oh, please, that set you back some silver. I'm sure the buy-in's more than the round of drinks. Yes?
Well, you never know. I mean, we've got a gnome with us, and you know, whenever he opens his purse, his butt squeaks.
Ah,
Well, we'll just get a little more ale, lubricate those purse hinges a bit, shall we?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, give it a whirl.
Who
Are we
came
going to
and
be
sat
staying
down?
here and gambling? Are we going to be staying here and gambling for a while?
I don't really need to stay here and gamble.
I don't
unless...
think you do. We can skip
I
that.
thought we were going to leave and head to Vin.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
are. We were
let's-
just waiting for you to finish your beer that you wouldn't buy the rest of us.
No,
So we can go get your gem set that apparently the dragon just gave to you.
yeah.
You see how this works.
Do you
Well,
want
it
to
is
be dragon?
communication.
I don't think it's a
No.
gym. I think it's just a rock.
It's a rocky.
just
It's a
a
rocky
rock.
talkie.
It's just a rocky
That's fine.
talkie.
Yeah,
It's just a. It's
that's
a
your
rocky
tag.
talkie.
That's your tag.
And it seems to be a
Wearing your
one-way
ear.
phone, like my wife's phone.
Yeah, that's your tag. Tag and a leash.
let's go. Let's head up to Vin.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
let's-
sorry,
Let's
we're
blast
not
off to Vin.
we're not interested in gambling.
Well, it's a shame. Well,
We'll
Enjoy
catch you
your
next
trip.
time around. It's not we're not interested, but we got other fish to fry.
I did have
Yeah.
one question. Why is everything around here named after peaches?
this used to be well, it still is. There's quite a few peach trees. It's a crop
peach
in the
cobbler.
area, but it was much bigger at one time, even
Mm.
than it is. So we have
Cowboy chicken.
We still do the best harvest for peaches around.
Gross.
They're quite tasty, and the preserves are delightful. But that's why, of course.
When's the peach harvest?
Peach harvest.
Well, we've got to make it through the winter. We've just had it not too long ago.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah, winter kind of sucks. By spring, all you have is the pits.
Oh. I see what you did there, my dwarven friend. Come back and spend some coin on the way. Perhaps we'll.
We will. But unfortunately, we have pressing business in Vend.
What is your business in Vin, if I may ask?
Adventure.
Things.
Adventure. Well, you'll find it there for sure. On a ship?
Well,
or
it's
just
an
in the city?
adventure. I mean, just look at us.
You are a diverse group. I can see that clearly. So, if you're going to Vin and you're looking for adventure, I assume you're looking for a ship. You don't look like the skullduggery around the streets.
No, we got no interest in the streets. No, we're aiming for the high seas.
Oh, well, you will love it. The ships are soon due in, and they'll be out again after that, I think.
Really?
Adventure
How soon
probably
are they
opens.
due in, and then how soon do they go out?
Depends on when the container arrives and how quickly
Yeah.
they turn around the order. Wait. that's
Well,
off. I'm sorry, I broke your.
depends if the
Any-
employees will come in at 5 in the morning.
Any time now, really. We're not, it's sometimes ships can be a month or so late, but we expect them to be in within a few weeks, of course. A week or two.
Oh, the
perhaps, for
timing
some of
is
them.
just perfect for us then. That'll give us enough time to all learn how to swim.
Oh, you know, many a sailor doesn't know how to swim. It keeps them on the ship.
Yeah, many a dead sailor.
We're actually looking for a particular ship, I think, once we get there.
Oh,
Yep, one that'll float.
No, we have a name of someone. We have a name of a captain.
do you?
But
Know?
Right. I didn't necessarily want to say it out here in the bar, but go ahead, spill it.
What ship are you
No,
looking
no,
for? Perhaps I can help you. I do.
Yeah,
some
he can
trade
help
with
you. Here
them.
we go.
Tell her.
I don't recall the name. I'm going to have to think about it for a while.
I tell her the name of the ship that I don't remember, but
Okay.
I'm sure.
Very
the
good.
ship
That's
is-
the way you do it.
Is the Silver Swan?
The Silver Swan.
Yes. And Maloris is the sister
Dolores.
that you were looking for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's right.
so when you say the Silver Swan, oh, really, the Silver Swan? That's not
great.
That is an adventurous ship indeed. Cartography is their main job. And
Yeah.
They find themselves in
Yeah.
all kinds of places.
They do. They do.
Occasionally, we'll take on a little bit of, well, shipping, if you will. But that ship, yes, I suppose they are due in soon. But made for the long haul, that one is. A rather large one. Not really made for short excursions. You plan on being at sea for a long time. Are you all familiar with sailing?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
We are seasoned deckhands.
Oh, well, I'll show
That
you.
gnome over there is the best cabin boy in the Seven Kingdoms. You wouldn't know it to look at him.
He's a good fluffer.
I see. Well, extravagant. I'm sure you'll have an easy time finding your way aboard the ship. So you know, well, I won't delay you any further. I'm sure you have much to do, but stop by if you ever come back this way. However, I don't expect to see you for a good season or so if you're going out on the Silver Swan.
No. I don't think you'll see us again, even, now that I think about it.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you. It's too bad we couldn't discuss longer. Maybe part you from a little bit of your coin along the way?
I don't need to be
Goodbye.
parted from any more coin. We've already
What's
lost quite a bit here tonight.
Fine. I understand. Well, have a good
Yeah,
evening.
we've got a target on our back, and it's great.
I'm nudging the dwarf and whispering,
Yeah.
ask him about the fall and ask him about the Redwood Association.
Cabin boy wants to know if you guys have heard anything about the fall.
No, I can't say I have. I don't.
He didn't look
Not
like the
familiar.
kind that would know anything about that. Or the Redwood organization. You ever hear these guys?
Oh, the Redwood Foundation, of course. Of course. Occasionally do donations myself.
Yeah,
to
the
them.
charity that
Yes, they
helps
scoop
the
up-
orphans.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a shame when the docks are, unfortunately, a place that. Well, we get
Lots
some
of orphans at the docks is what
Yes,
you're saying?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
can happen. But the Redwood Foundation makes us all, I don't know, it helps our youth. So, yeah, I've
So
heard of
they're
them.
thought of rather favorably in Venn?
Oh, in most places, I'd say yes, of course. And they have a rather large establishment there, actually.
I think we've heard of it before. Someone was mentioning it earlier.
Oh, well, yes, it is rather nice. If you wish to make a donation, they will take it directly, actually, if you go to them. They're located
Does it have
in
to
the,
be an orphan,
north.
or can we just give cash?
No, of course, they're looking for cash. They.
How about a grown gnome? It's about orphan size.
Cheap ass no.
Yeah. Maybe a trade.
Will they take one in trade?
Yeah.
Maybe we
Well,
could get
only-
2 orphan kids for 1 gnome. That'd work out pretty well. Because he does play the harp.
Look out for the youth.
Underappreciated gnome.
I haven't seen them take minion above the age of working age, 13, 14 at the most, probably.
No.
Well, it's nice to know that there's an organization like that doing the good work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is wonderful. Well,
All
had a
right,
great
Corncob,
journey.
let's go.
I was ready to go a half hour ago.
And out you go.
As we go out the door, I'm going to stage whisper, maybe we shouldn't ask everybody we meet about the creepy secret society.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I was prodded by a gnome. It's like we shouldn't tell everybody we're looking for the silver swan, but that's okay too. We should just buy some red paint and paint a big bullseye on our back.
Hey, I'm an
But-
entertainer, not a super spy.
You should jangle that bag of platinum.
Yeah, I want to roll for initiative.
Oh man. Now my question as Frank the DM, as you exit this, is whether or not I look to appease Michael in this episode or next episode.
You don't need to appease me ever. I love just playing. I joke about having to kill and fight all the time. I like the whole thing. I like the whole. If it was all just one then it wouldn't be fun. So it's a great.
It's really hard playing a low intelligence dwarf with a high wisdom. That's a very difficult thing to do.
I want the DM to run the DM, and not worry about me. Have a blast.
I honestly, my goal is always to make it fun. So you head out the door, you do your stage whisper, which is I do like. A couple people might overhear, probably some of the people near the door.
That's great.
It is a stage whisper.
So they overhear the warning about not talking about the secret society.
Well, now they know too not to talk about the secret society.
Why not? Let's just write it on a sign, carry it through the streets.
And you head out. You head down the road. I'm going to get you into Vin before we end though this evening, although there might not be much in the way of other things.
That's
so
fine.
as you head down,
Are we really talking about trying to take these guys down?
are you going for?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of going for the Redwood Foundation or for the Fall?
Well, I think we
themselves?
need to get to Vin first.
We should head to the mudworm.
The mudworm.
the Mudworm.
And
Yeah, I agree.
recap
No,
all of the
I was
stuff we've.
Forget.
Let's ask everybody in the mudworm about the
Yes.
the fall.
Loudly.
We'll ask everybody to be quiet, and then
Yep.
we'll stand up on stage and ask them, and have everybody
Wait.
contribute.
But why would you waste so much time when you could have your bard create a song about it?
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
I don't
like
think
that
we
even
want to do that, really.
Yeah.
I will point out as we're walking that we are, from what
We'll do
I've
that
learned,
before
this
we
is a
sell them to the
lawful
orphanage.
good. This is a lawful good community. The Redwood organization is viewed in favor even within this lawful good community. So my guess is that the fall is either in direct contravention to the community or the community isn't as good as it seems. But I don't think we should be
they keep
spouting
up
off
with this.
about it too much.
Yeah,
The fall part. The redwood we
I
can.
think-
Let's.
We should spend as little time in Ven as possible because we are not very lawful.
I'm thinking we should shave the gnome's beard off and pass him off as an orphan and have someone work on the inside.
Right. I'm all about that.
No. That ain't
He can
happening.
cast illusion. He can make himself look like an orphan. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
We know
I
they
have-
take. We know they take
Just-
elves in the order. We could tattoo the elf, scarify him
Not
a little bit.
tattooing the
If
elf.
someone can remember
not
how
doing
that was
tattoo.
done, and then he could
No,
work
we're
on
not
the
burning the
inside.
elf.
I don't think they take lizard men or dwarves though.
Well, I don't know.
Well, we know they take humans and elves.
I can cast disguise self, so I could
There you
be an
go.
orphan.
you could. If you
Okay,
wanted.
good. We'll keep that under our hat.
Yeah.
Or a cabin boy.
So if
you
it's
even have-
true,
You
If-
even have some magic ability.
oh,
So-
you'll be earmarked.
Professor X might
Um,
pick you out of the crowd.
If it's truly a theocracy and Rhonda is the head deity on top, then it is truly very lawful. That is a rigidly lawful
We need
contract
to
upholding.
hide in the inn and wait for a boat.
Well, I think we can find out more about the theocracy and Mudworm and see if there's anything about that. I think we need to know if it's really that lawful good, so we know how to comport ourselves.
Just don't
Lawful.
spit
Why is
on
it
the street.
named
Lawful.
Bloodborne?
There is no good. It's lawful.
Oh, absolutely lawful. Okay,
Absolute
never mind.
lawful. Letter
That's
of the
even
lawful.
worse.
Yeah,
for this
contract
party.
Okay.
lawful.
Contract lawful.
Now,
Oh, okay.
It's
I
Lawful
lawful.
a
good, they may
question.
not have
Sure.
killed us, but
Lawyer up.
lawful, we're just toast.
I'll have to bone up on my lawyering. It'll be fine.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did I get a good enough look at their tattoo or their mark for those two guys so that if I were to cast a disguise self, I could emulate it?
Yep.
Cool.
You could.
That may come in handy. Or maybe not. I'm not sure how deep we want to go in there.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
the rest of y'all may perish, but they'll think I'm one of them.
Yeah, for a while.
I think actually Abran would know. So Ven, to be, I think Abran would know the history being a wood elf because it was originally a wood elf established quite a long time ago, and it was Venisinet was the original full elven name, and it was just abandoned by the elves to
Which means
humans.
what? The wounded peach, probably? Something like that?
No, it's far enough away from the peach groves. It does not.
Okay.
And it's mostly a foodstuff gathering port. So they are near deep water on one side. It's a giant mud flat on the other. Their clams are truly shipped as far as you could ship a clam live in this day and age. And on site, it's good fishing, great clamming, and the economy. A little further out, there's oysters, abalone, shellfish. There's a lot of
Otters?
fame in
Is
the
there
town.
any otters?
There are otters. Where there is abalone, there is otters, right?
That's true. I need a shirt.
Now you just need to find a magic tailor.
Oh, that's not too hard. A city this
Oh, wait a
size.
second. Are the otters sacred to Rhonda or anything like that? Because
Oh, we're not
Are
gonna
we sure
go
these
killing
otters are
otters
fair
right
game?
now. I was just. So where
Yeah.
are we? Are we outside of Inn? Are we inside of
Yeah,
Inn?
so we basically you're approaching. You see this side as you approach from the street side. There are gates, and there are guards, and it looks like as you're approaching, they're going to interview you on the way in, and you hear the people in front of you being talked about a little bit of weapon registration in Ven.
Okay, before we do that, I was going to ask, is the dagger doing anything? Is it just dead now?
As promised,
Well,
it's just a magic dagger now to you. For now.
Huh.
Ah.
Okay, so
But I
weapons
will have
registration, huh?
Yeah. And
Oh, here's where a guy that knows how to fight with a stick comes in handy.
that is where we're going to end this evening, on your way into the gates of Ven. You can see buildings out there, and you can smell the sea air strongly, and you can hear the
Weapons
seagulls.
Are they
clamoring.
taking the weapons before we
They are
leave?
not
Are they
taking
taking
they are not taking the weapons. They are registering
just writing
the
them down
weapons.
in a book?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How exact are they being? Does it look like there's a mage there checking them for magic?
There is a non-martial person standing and watching nearby.
Good. Good. This is great.
And that
There's
is.
not
I bet you
really
my
way
pistol.
around.
I bet you my
Right?
pistol can't have a clip over 30 rounds.
I wonder if they'll even know what that stuff is.
They
Yeah,
won't.
register
They won't.
this.
Yeah,
It's a
I don't-
toothbrush as far as they know.
Probably.
My Rutaki sniper rifle is a walking stick.
Oh, Sid, we thank you so much for your mental
Let's
state on
when we
this.
go in, let's keep the rounds separate from the gun. Just everybody carry some rounds, like they're
It's not a lot.
talismans rather than weapons.
Cool. That was fun.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I know it's a lot of setup, but I know from here we get a lot of interesting possibilities.
We're gonna have a big adventure.
The opportunity exists for one. You have a lot of hooks now. Whether or not I don't know if you're gonna go for. I don't know what you're gonna go for. but
Now
I'll
with
try
a
to be
magic
ready.
battle axe, I need a ring of intelligence boosting somehow.
So awesome! You found out a lot of great information. You've finally finished your delivery, your fetch quest for this doggone mushroom
glad
queen.
We got rid of that thing.
But
I'll be spying on us.
Abron was congratulated on not using his favor. Is that correct?
I don't know if him and Fathom shared
Or
that, but
impressed
yes,
by
as
it was an impressive act to not use his favor.
from Jason to Frank, yes, that is definitely the way it went.
Well, I
Does
assume
Abron
Abron
know
told
what
us
his favor
while we were
is?
walking.
I don't know. I mean, that might be personal. Huh?
I know.
All right. Well, if he didn't tell us, then he didn't tell us.
Yeah, she was impressed.
I will ask directly, Abron. I noticed this guy was talking to you quite a bit. What did he say?
Yeah.
So now he can tell me, and we don't have to, if he wants to.
Yeah. I'll say something about some favor. I haven't had to use it. That's all he said.
And they
You
thought
know
that
what
was
he
a
did.
good thing.
And she was impressed that I haven't had to use it, whatever that favor is.
Huh. I don't know if that's good or bad then.
There's a dark undertone to that for sure.
Yeah.
But if the favor
that the
lasts for
same
longer than 4 hours, you should contact
Yep.
a medical professional.
That's right.
Right. Right.
Is that the same thing as
Yeah.
the boon?
You assume that's what they're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't mess with the mushrooms if you don't want the spores. That's what they always say.
Pucho got a boon too.
Yeah.
And
Has
Pugh doesn't
Pugh
know
used
what
his?
his boon
Pugh
is.
hasn't used his boon, has he?
No, not
Yeah.
that you know of. But he
It's
wasn't over
probably
at that
near
table.
complete deterioration of your body after you die, so you can go back to the earth quicker.
Yeah.
Become mushroom
works.
food.
I don't know. I mean, I do know, but I can't disclose.
Oh, I'm glad.
That's been going
It's already
on
too much
since
information to remember.
September.
It has. It's yeah. Well, some things are best left on the back burner stewing for a little bit.
Like Pete.
So yeah. Like
Grandpa
peaches.
gravy.
So I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank Reaper Miniatures for putting this game on, and thank you so much. Thank you to Sirenscape for our background ambient music. Thank you to everyone out there. Thank you to the players, every one of you. That's it totally is a fun game, and I enjoy it so much. So I'm going to plug before the end, and then I'm gonna let all the players plug whatever they're up to and how you might reach them, or if or find them with whatever their various shows are that they're doing. But for us, I'll be on Nightheart Gaming next week during the week. But next coming weekend, Friday, 8 o'clock p.m. and Saturday, 4 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time, Maximum Maidens will be playing. Sid, we will be DMing that, and it will be for the charity event. You might have seen Fabulous Marines going around somewhere. It's to benefit the Trevor Project, and there'll be some prizes there for our donators, some of those even granted by Reaper Miniatures. And there'll be some fun stuff. That might include some gift certificates and definitely some miniatures, some painted by the community even available. Sidwig has actually just posted the link where you could do some donations early and during the game. So I'm going to, since we're doing
When is that?
Can you plug that?
Can you go over that again? When is that?
Yeah, so that's Friday, the Maximum Maidens game from 8 o'clock p.m., well, a 3-hour game, Central Daylight Time, where that charity will be running, and the following game day, Saturday, 4:00 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Another 3-hour game, an entirely different cast, so back-to-back games.
Awesome.
Day after day. So that's what I have to plug. Thank you for watching, and I'll let everybody else do their outro. Bobby?
And am I unmuted?
No, you're
okay.
good.
I just want to say thanks, Frank. Thanks, everybody. It looks like I'm
You're doing
lagging.
great.
What the heck? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I just want to say thanks. It was fun as always. I was kind of taken aback by some of the shenanigans, but we managed to avoid any of the untoward bard-like behavior, and I'm looking forward for 2 weeks from now.
Likewise. Thank you. Gene?
Well, thank you, Frank. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks all the players for playing. I had a great time. That's 2 in a row, not a scratch.
Not a
That's
scratch, not a
pretty
drop
amazing.
of blood.
Not so much as a blade was drawn. No rolls for initiative, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So anyway,
Oh, good play.
I had a great time and looking forward to it in a couple weeks.
All right. Jason?
Thanks, Frank. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Justin, Reaper, and thanks, everybody, for watching. It was a good time. As much as I'm glad we haven't spilled a drop of blood in 2 complete episodes, I'm a little worried that the thunderclouds are building in a big way. I think we're looking at total party kill here anytime. As far as things to push, I'm going to announce that Sadie, the painter person, the person in charge of making the paint at Reaper, going to be on our show Tuesday on the Crow's Nest. So I want you all to tune in on that. We're going to get really in depth on how this paint is made, because that's some things I don't know anything about. So it'll be kind of interesting to pick her brain on that.
Yeah, Tuesday. That's 5:00, right?
Tuesday at 5:00 CST.
I'm super
Best
curious.
show on the Reaper Network at 5:00 on Tuesday.
Yep, by far.
Hands down.
No doubt.
Wait, I thought this was the best show.
I'm contractually required to say that this is the best show, but they might be right.
No, I said the best show on Tuesday at 5:00.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So don't argue with me, Frank.
No.
DM time is over now, pal.
No. Frank,
We're
if you
equals
bothered to
now,
watch that
buddy.
person, you would know that we always say Reaper Errant is the best show on.
Yeah. Give us just a little crust of dried bread, will you?
I enjoyed the bus.
He was ready to fight.
More than
he was ready
most
to fight.
Maybe we should.
I have to entertain the bus like that. I have to make it happen. Yeah. Thank you, Jason. I hope to be there because I have a question about the paint myself.
Yeah.
Michael.
Don't forget our giveaway, Michael.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you
Check
can even
this
show
out.
it. There you
Here we go. I had it ready to go. It's kind of hard to see in camera, but we started this week, and every week we plan on doing a giveaway with the Crow's Nest exclusive Pokey Tool, produced by Reaper, sculpted by Julie Guthrie. Barbadolfi did the fine print of the Crow's Nest on the back. And the interesting thing about
Gene's
this,
font.
yeah, is the only place you can get these Pokey Tools is to win them by watching the Crow's Nest.
Yep. Doesn't matter how
Only
much you
way-
kiss up to Michael, you need.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, certain DMs might be able to boon me and magic weapons and my ring of
talking about
fireballs. I'm still waiting on.
Most people don't have that kind of lever over you. You know.
I would never use that because I
do that.
as a Pokey Tool lover myself, I will probably be on there trying to get it with everybody else.
Yeah.
You should get that.
Yes. So that's what we have going on. And
I don't even get one till I win it. There you go.
Yeah.
I won one.
I don't know.
Rhonda already
Rhonda
won.
won one,
I know.
and I think I'm the only one that
Rigged.
has any of them in hand so far. But they're
Yes.
fantastic. We're super excited about it. Yes, Sadie's going to be on. It's going to be great. Going to learn a lot about paint and mixing and all that kind of good stuff. Pump and paint. That's Justin. I don't know.
Awesome.
We're working on a title, but pump and paint might be good.
Pump and paint sounds great.
Yeah, I like that.
Pump and paint
I
and
think-
waxing the cat.
Thanks, Sue. Wow. Thanks, Frank.
That's,
Thanks,
No, she
Justin.
says that. That's one of her sayings.
that's one of
It
her
is.
things. Waxing the cat.
She got that from Ann, I think.
Wow. So yeah, I'm not going there. This is a family-friendly show. So thank you. I'm passing it back to you, Frank, to avoid any more unnecessary awkward silence.
Maybe I'm not the king
About
of awkward, but I try my best.
Polishing the cat or whatever.
That's beautiful. I like it.
Oh, man.
Rhonda?
Please get control again.
I guess so. I have my blog at birdwithabrush.com, but I now also have Reaper Show on Mondays at, I want to say 2 to 4 Central Time. That sounds right.
Sounds right.
And
Sure.
this week, I'm going to take a couple miniatures that I painted some years ago to play in our games and stuff, and I'm going to touch them up. So I'm going to go through them as if they were entries at the MSP Open and give them some feedback and, what's good, what could use a little improvement, and then try to take that
Ooh.
and show you what. So I've taken pictures too. So after the show, I'll have before and after pictures. But just because I think sometimes it's hard for, you get these comments on your miniatures and it's hard to visualize, well, what would the difference really be? So I want to show you on the same figure kind of before and after.
What did they mean? Make it more blue.
Yeah. What does more contrast mean?
Yes, what does more contrast mean? I would like to help you visualize that because I'm sure that will come up because that always comes up.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah. Rhonda brings a new level of preparation to a show that hasn't really been, besides Frank, Rhonda delivers a high quality level of preparation that I don't think any other
Yes.
show on Reaper Twitch does.
And it works out great. It's painful for Michael and I to even contemplate that level, but Rhonda is
Yeah.
really good at
We're
it.
lucky,
And you need to
we're
watch her
lucky to have
show.
a guest. We're lucky to have a guest lined up prior to the show
Right.
starting.
Rhonda the painter, not Rhonda the god in our game.
But you're more
Yeah.
interesting to listen to because last week on my show, we literally watched paint dries. So there's that.
It was.
Yeah,
I
you did.
enjoyed it though. It was
Oh.
exciting.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Like, not, the couple times I nodded off, it wasn't that big a deal. I didn't sleep that long.
Maybe
Thank
I'm
you,
going to start
Rhonda.
my ASMR career now.
All right.
Jen.
Had a great time as always. Looking forward to playing again in a couple weeks. And I agree with Fathom. I think we should get on the boat and get out of the city as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Bring your lawyer.
Really? You don't think we'll thrive in a lawful community?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can take those guys down from somewhere else. This is not the place.
I say we
Oh.
just fund the operation and get out of the way.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you. That's wisdom. All right, Justin. I know you're there. Would you like to have a little bit of
I'm
out
here.
and rating and all that?
Yes, actually, we're let's see here. We're going to be rating at the behest of Sidway because she was nice enough to give me a list of supported streamers and stuff that are for the Trevor Project, kind of like you guys have. So we're going to be rating someone who is I think doing that tonight on the schedule. What they're doing, I don't know. I just know that it's in relation to the Trevor Project. So we're going to be rating new meta design, but outside of that, I don't have any other news really. No. Nothing really to add at this point, other than I'm sorry that we could not get the figures for tonight's episode ready. We tried to twist. You can ask Gene and Jason and Michael, we tried to
Yeah, we
twist
were-
Ron's arm.
We'll have
tried.
them coming up though. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah,
It is, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a great episode when we do, because any
Yep.
natural ones or 20s, we're going to give away all kinds of fun stuff. So
It's going to be
Don't hold your
fantastic.
that's
breath.
Good things
Yep.
come.
Don't hold
Keep
your
your
breath.
pokey
Yeah.
tool out of
Reaper
your
soon.
inflatable hot tub, Justin.
Yeah.
Patience.
Okay. Patience. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much. Have a great rest of your night, and keep being awesome. Thank you guys again for playing D&D, and thank you, Nightheart, for doing it. That's makes it special.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oh, Gene with the donut. And you know what? The cat. Let's. Oh, look how angry the cat looks as we ride off into the sunset.
She's not
Oh,
angry.
man.
She's happy.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
purring
she's
away.
Happy.
She's just
Happy
She-
cat.
she's just not
She wants
Why
a
does
donut.
Bobby look like he's
It
crying?
applies to
Bobby looks
cats
like
as
he's
well as
crying.
people.
I can do that too.
Good-
Good night, everyone. Good
Good
night.
night.
Night-night.